Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Talk Radio.
Busy show this evening. Thank you, George Galloway. Always a pleasure to come in after you, boss. Primarily because, well, A, your show is excellent, and B, the studio is cool. New callers only this evening. Busy show. New callers only. New and newish callers. After midnight, we're going to do a Periscope love bomb, or we're going to try it. And after 10, we're going to talk about Bruce-ploitation. What the hell is that? I shall tell you all in a minute. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
He sure knows how to fight for his defense. In starting all his limbs are tense. Power glistens in his eyes, he strikes terror with his cries. He's the king of kung fu. King of kung fu. King of kung fu. Let him show what he can do. He's the king of kung fu. King of kung fu. King of kung fu. Let him show what he can do. He uses every human capability with a fingertip sensitivity. His kung fu courage set in motion is a massive dynamic explosion. Power fills his eyes as he strikes terror with his cries. He's the king of kung fu. King of kung fu. King of kung fu. Let him show what he can do. He's the king of kung fu. King of kung fu. King of kung fu. Let him show what he can do. People have carved him into what he is. Made him a powerhouse that fights to live. His iron muscles threaten destruction. There's no fighter that can touch him. The king is now revealed. He's a real man of steel. He's the king of kung fu. King of kung fu. King of kung fu. The greatest fighter the world ever knew. Bruce Lee. Oh, you're the king of kung fu. The greatest fighter the world.
That song brings back so many memories. Partly for when we played it last week, but when I was a kid... Oh, man. That's the theme tune to Goodbye Bruce Lee, His Last Game of Death. A very, very strange film. Now, when I was a kid, my first ever obsession, before the Monkees, before anything, when I was about 10, 11 years old, was Bruce Lee. And it was early 80s, home video was kind of happening. We had a Betamax. And it was before like video nasties and stuff, so kids could go in and rent.
My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee.
Oh, blimey,
I was born in...
It scared the life out of me then. It was actual Bruce Lee. You could go in and rent like X-rated films, and if the shop wouldn't let you take it, which was very rare, then your mum and dad would go and rent it. And I was obsessed with Bruce Lee. Loved it. And I had a mate who had loads of Bruce Lee comics and magazines, and we'd photocopy them and sell the photocopy pictures for a penny a piece until we got in trouble and found out. But the problem with Bruce Lee is he only made 4.5 films. And also the films when they were shown in England were really badly cut. But he only made 4.5 films. But luckily, there's this weird phenomenon called Bruce-ploitation, where after Bruce Lee died, loads of film companies, primarily in Hong Kong and China, but kind of various other places, just found people that, in some cases, looked a bit like Bruce Lee. In most cases, were just Chinese people, you know, and build them as the new Bruce Lee, or Bruce Lai, which is pronounced Lee, or Bruce Le, or Dragon Lee, or however many you can think of. And they made hundreds of these films. And, you know, for kids in the 80s, starving to see more Bruce Lee stuff, they weren't going to get it, he was dead, we kind of latched onto these films. And for a long time, these Bruce Lee films that didn't have Bruce Lee in were a big part of my life. Some of them are absolutely brilliant. Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger, I would suggest, is a masterpiece. Some of them, like that one, Goodbye Bruce Lee, His Last Game of Death, are... well, they're kind of almost unwatchable. Yeah, I would have sat through that film about 20 times when I was 13. Anyway, there's a brilliant Twitter feed at Bruce Lee Clones, and it's run by a gentleman called Michael Worth. And Michael is making a documentary, and I believe writing a book about this whole phenomenon. I've been looking forward to talking to him for ages. Evening, Michael.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very, very well. Now you're in Los Angeles, is that right?
I am in Los Angeles. Yeah, you've been taking me down memory lane. This has been great.
Oh, man. I don't know if you've ever seen a UK edit of the Bruce Lee films. They had all of the nunchuckers cut out.
Yeah, you know, I've got actually plenty because doing, you know, my obsession stages, I would like get them from the UK, some of the cuts, and I was always that was something that always stood out to me. I was like, I go, wait a minute, what happened to the nunchakus there? So,
well, the scene, just I'm going to geek out for 30 seconds. Indulge me, dear listener, and then we'll bring it back a bit. The scene in Way of the Dragon where he goes out around the back of the restaurant and gets the double nunchuckers. We didn't see that. No one. We had to pass around dodgy bootleg copies of that scene because it was cut out. He'd go out and then he'd be dusting off and there'd be people lying on the floor.
I know, and that's that image with him with the nunchakus is always like the most iconic. So you guys got ripped off.
We got ripped off. Now listen, tell me how you got into karate and kung fu films.
Well, I was like you, and I was listening to your intro there, and as a 10-year-old, I was studying Aikido already, and I like you fell in love with Bruce Lee and became obsessed with him, and was but at that time, as you were saying, this was sort of right at the start of when Betamax and video was starting. I mean, the only way you could see movies was in the theaters at the sort of tail end of the Grindhouse era and all that. So I didn't know how many movies Bruce Lee had made as a kid. I'd assumed, and I knew Game of Death was like his big mysterious film. And then what happened was a film. I was raised in the Bay Area, which is up by the San Francisco, Berkeley area. And there was a film playing across the bay called The Young Dragon, and I saw the ad for it, and it said, Bruce's first film at the age of 18, held back in the vaults of China. And I was sold. So I went over there, paid my $3 to see it, and I just realized within 10 minutes I'd been completely duped. And this was, as little as I knew about Bruce Lee, I knew I wasn't looking at Bruce Lee. But by the end of the movie, I was so sucked into this thing. I went home and I was working out for hours, and I was like, that was the best, And so that was kind of like my introduction to it. And to be honest with you, it's sort of, I had to start my own career later in life and not be too, geeked out on this stuff. But I mean, I have just been fascinated with it since I was a kid.
It's weird because he made kind of 4.5 films, and The Game of Death, which is billed as the last Bruce Lee film, in some ways that is a Bruceploitation film because
the biggest. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
The last 20 minutes. The last 20 minutes is Bruce, is the stuff that he filmed, and the hour and a half before that are about 3 different lookalikes, I think, and weird waxworks and weird pictures stuck on mirrors. It's a strange film.
Yeah, I mean, there's some strange ones out there, as you probably noticed, and that one being probably the most accessible one to get at, obviously, because they still sort of tout it as a real Bruce Lee film. But there was a follow-up to it, I don't know if you know, called Tower of Death.
Yeah, of course.
And it actually, even though it's sort of billed as a Game of Death 2, if you watch the movie, it's actually playing more equal to Enter the Dragon. But they did a very similar thing. They took some footage that wasn't used in Enter the Dragon, and they put it in there and tried to make it look like Bruce was in the beginning of it. And in some of the shots he was, but... Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's when, do you know when Hong Kong, I'm guessing it kind of started in Hong Kong, correct me if I'm wrong, but when they kind of thought, wow, now Bruce Lee's dead, we can make loads of films and pretend it's Bruce Lee. It seems a strange game plan.
Well, believe it or not, actually the Bruceploitation, in a sense, started when he was still alive, because he had done the action scenes for a film called The Unicorn Palm, which starred his friend Unicorn. That was his nickname. Yeah. And Bruce was on set directing some of the action for him. He'd already done a couple of films in Hong Kong. He was already extremely popular, and his star was on the rise. So he went to help his friend make this movie, and when they released the film, this was released while Bruce Lee was still alive, probably right around the time he was doing Enter the Dragon, they would advertise Bruce Lee in all the campaigns, saying directed by him. They started sticking clips from him behind the scenes, doing the choreography into the actual movie itself. Wow. And when it came to America, when it did come here after Bruce Lee had passed away, the first poster would have Bruce Lee on the front, and and they changed the title to Bruce Lee and I, and then they would say directed, and it said directed by Bruce Lee. And I have this poster, but then the lawsuits jumped in, and then the poster immediately changed to almost the same image with some other guy on the front, and then it no longer was called Bruce Lee and I.
It's hard for people to know. I mean, he would have been a massive star in the West. He only really made one American film, Enter the Dragon, and had he gone on to make more, he would have been the action hero in America in the 70s, I think. But a
lot of people don't even realize he was going to be on the Johnny Carson show 2 weeks after he had passed away.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And he was huge. I mean, no, huge isn't even the word. He was a phenomenon in Hong Kong and China, wasn't he?
Oh God, yeah. And the thing is, when the Hong Kong films started coming into the UK and America, after he had passed away, everybody was always wanting Bruce Lee films, so a lot of the distributors were like, well, let's just not tell him that he didn't make 4.5 films. Let's just make it look like, you know what I mean? So he became, obviously his name was synonymous with martial arts over here as well.
How many films do you reckon there are with people pretending to be Bruce Lee?
Well, in the book that I've got coming out, I kind of go into this a lot. I mean, there's sort of like very varying degrees of Bruceploitation.
Yeah.
Movies that sometimes just use the advertising, and then of course you go to the film and it's got zero within the film that has anything whatsoever. But then you have, for instance, the three guys you mentioned. They're the three main Bruceploitation actors, Dragon Lee, Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee. And these guys, pretty much everything they did, with the exception of a few films they did at the end of their careers, where you just knew was Bruceploitation just because they were in it and what they brought to it. But then there's about a half dozen or so people that would come in and do, 1, 2, 3 offs, where they would just do it a few times, something similar. I'd say the era of Bruceploitation really ran from 1973 to about, the early 1980s, so about 10 years. And in that time, you were probably looking at least 50 or 60 films that you could categorize as Bruceploitation.
Bruce Lee, for me, and I know it's pronounced Lee, but I'm saying Lee just for convenience sake. For me, he's the best. I mean, because he looks a bit like Bruce Lee. He looks most like Bruce Lee more than any of the others. He can do the moves to a certain extent, and he seemed to invest kind of a bit more time in his movies than the other guys.
Well, I think there's a couple reasons for that. One, you're right. He did have that look, but he also was of the group. I would say he was the most reticent to do this. He loved Bruce Lee. He just wanted to respect him. And he kind of just took this ride with these producers that kept just throwing him in all this stuff. Sometimes it was good, but most of the time it was really sort of, slanderous, sort of salacious, Bruce Lee stuff. And at the end of his career, he walked away basically from his career, and he made a movie. It was like his last film. It was called The Chinese Stuntman, and he directed it. And it was a summation of his career. It was about him being pulled into the film business, getting used, and then he walks away from it. And that's kind of what he wanted to say. You've
just reminded me of a film that I had when I was 12 called Bruce Lee, the Man, the Myth. You talk about libelous films, and it's Bruce Lee doing the story of Bruce Lee, but it's just, I mean, there's there's a brilliant scene where he's dying and he gets a really bad headache at the actress's house, and you just see him going, "Oh, my head," and it really is. I mean, a lot of these films were stinkers, weren't they?
Well, yeah, and it's funny when you mention just that moment, because that that was one of the big mysteries, the big things about Bruce Lee was the fact, he died in this other woman's apartment, and there's always been all this stuff around that. And so it's funny, there are two versions of that sequence where he's in there and he goes, my head. And, and she's like, let me get you some aspirin. And there's another one. He goes, my head. Hey, is your husband coming home soon? To sort of take away from the fact that maybe it was less than, good that he was there. But yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you, Bruce Lee, the man, the myth, which is also known as Bruce Lee, the true story, I think in the UK, right, was actually one of the better ones that he did about Bruce Lee's life. Cause he did like 3 or 4 where he played Bruce Lee. And he did some that were the first couple he did, and this is where it gets confusing, and it even confuses me sometimes. He has about half a dozen films that all had similar titles. There was A Dragon Dies Hard, there was Dragons Die Hard, there was Super Dragon, there was Dragon Lives, so you had these combinations of titles that would sometimes be interchangeable, and you were never sure which movie was which. But he did a few that were pretty outrageous, particularly his first one he did, which was called, The Dragon Lives, see, I'm already confusing him. Bruce Lee, A Dragon Story. And it was the first one they made, actually. It was the very first one. He's got a mustache. Bruce Lee has a mustache in it, and there's almost no fighting in it because they still hadn't, they just ran off and made a movie. It was like a soap opera movie about his life. So you dig deep enough, you can find some pretty bad ones that make Bruce Lee, the man, the myth, look like an Oscar winner.
Michael, stay there. We're going to find out more about your book and your documentary in a second. I've got to take a break. 0844 499 1000. I want to find out as well why we're still talking about Bruce Lee 43 years, I think, after he died. It seems incredible for a man that only made 1 film in Hollywood and 4.5 films in total, that we're still kind of, it's still kids look up to him. It's incredible. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Indulge me in a little bit of Friday night geekery and a really weird little cul-de-sac of cinema. Right, it's a strange little offshoot that some of you will be aware of. I think primarily men of a certain age will be aware of, and most of you won't. It's the genre of Bruceploitation. Loads of Bruce Lee films were made, didn't have Bruce Lee in. And Michael Worth, who's a documentary maker and an author and an actor, is talking to me about this from Los Angeles. Michael, I say he's not in them. Actually, in loads of films, there's loads of the Bruceploitation films, there's footage of his funeral, and you actually see dead Bruce Lee in his open casket. And as a kid, I thought, hey, that's cool. As an adult, I think, hey, that's really weird.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think that's what it is you and me as kids, when we were watching these films, we wanted to eat that stuff up, but later you do look at it a little oddly. That funeral footage was public domain, so that's why it's all over the place. I mean, it's in Kung Fu Fever, it's in Bruce Lee, the Man, the Myth, it's in The Game of Death, it's in the clones of Bruce Lee. You'll see it all over the place. There was a film called The Death of Bruce Lee, and it was with Ron Van Cleef, where he goes to investigate the death of Bruce Lee. And they actually, this is where it went to the ultimate. They actually, on the poster for the movie here in the U.S., they didn't put that shot you're talking about from the funeral. It was actually a picture of Bruce Lee on the autopsy room, and it was a real photo. They put it on the cover of the poster. Yeah, so they eventually had to pull that off as well, but they pushed it pretty hard back then. And it's got you'd quite often see it within that footage, film of his wife Linda in tears. What was interesting about it was it seemed the whole of Hong Kong, everybody came out to see the funeral. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, in the thousands. I mean, those streets were just jam-packed. I mean, he had 2 funerals. He had that one, which was everybody in Hong Kong, and then, which is why you see so much of the footage, because it got shot so much. And then he did one in Seattle where Steve McQueen and James Coburn and those guys were his pallbearers. But it's interesting to watch how that Hong Kong stuff went, because there were a lot of stars there. I mean, whether you know it or not, at that time, some of the biggest stars in Hong Kong were at that footage. And there's another film actually that Bruce Lee did later, and they used the same idea, because what they would do is they would shoot these things because then they could say so-and-so was in the movie, even though it's just this footage at a funeral or whatever. And Bruce Lee did a movie called Challenge of the Tiger, where they actually went into a party with cameras with Bruce Lee and Jack Klugman and Jane Seymour party, and he would walk up to him and shake their hand, and then they would film it, and they would walk off, and on the poster of the movie it said with Jack Klugman and Jane Seymour.
That's incredible. It's the cheek of the whole thing. That what you've just said there, showing the funeral, putting Bruce Lee's name on a poster when he's not in it, you know, and films like Bruce Lee Fights Back from Beyond the Grave. It's just the audacity, and I guess it was all about the dollar, wasn't it? It was all about making money.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Okay, you know, now today, I mean, I actually know his family, I know his daughter, I know his wife, you know, and so there's a part of me that like recoils at some of the stuff that I used to really enjoy as a kid. But the thing is, you had the producers on the one hand that were clearly trying to piggyback on Bruce Lee's life and make the money and do whatever they could. But what's also interesting about the film, the films, when you start to kind of understand it, is there's a lot of filmmakers, a lot of choreographers, a lot of martial artists, and a lot of actors that within the film are trying in their own way to either honor Bruce or process his passing in different ways. So, you know, the guys making the films are putting the money in, are looking to make money, but you'll find in the films it varies a lot how they present Bruce Lee, you know, and that's that. So to me, there's within the confines of this Bruceploitation trash sometimes you get on the surface, there is stuff inside that would actually be kind of surprisingly nice to a Bruce Lee fan, you know?
Why are we still talking about Bruce Lee? I think it was 1973, wasn't it? 43 years after he died. Yep. It seems odd, doesn't it, for a man who did only make one Western film, and the other films are great, but I've shown them to people like action movies, and some of them got it and some of them didn't, you know, whereas everyone seems to get Enter the Dragon. Why, so many years later, is he still such a big star?
Well, and you know, I'll tell you, when I started working as an actor in this business, it was in the mid 90s, I started doing martial arts films. There was always still, and this is the early 90s, you know, 20 some odd years later, they were still trying to do Bruce Lee stuff in the fight scenes that I would be doing. And it amazed me, you know, like I did this movie with Lorenzo Lamas called Final Impact, and, this film Street Crimes with Dennis Farina, and still with the choreography, etc., they were still trying to emulate Bruce Lee. But to me, and I think this is pretty much the easy way to peg it, it's like he's like a James Dean, you know. They came along, they made a couple movies, but their charisma was so great. I mean, you know, that you just got magnetized by him. But also Bruce Lee had this other part to him, which is that he was a phenomenal martial artist, and he just left behind this sort of, like, even with like Game of Death, where we talk about how it got partially filmed, his martial art wasn't even like a completed martial art. It was this evolving philosophical sort of idea for fighting that he never quote unquote finished. So it sort of left all these open curiosity doors, you know. But yeah, I think that's it. I think the guy had a lot of charisma, you know, when you watch him.
Is there anything left in the vaults? I was so thrilled when, God, maybe 10 years ago now, the Game of Death double disc DVD came out, and it had all of the footage that he'd shot, you know, for the film. Most of it we hadn't seen before. Is there anything left in the vaults, Michael, or is it all out there?
No. Actually, there is, and I've seen a little bit of it, and it's so funny because on your point you just made, to this day, people still guard this stuff, hawk on this stuff, hold it in there, and trying to figure out what to do. I can tell you a couple things that I've seen. This is kind of little, but Bruce Lee did a cigarette commercial that he did back when his popularity for Winston cigarettes, and I've seen it. It exists out there. It's really fast, it's quick, but it's kind of cool, you know. Yeah. There is outtakes that exist from his movie Way of the Dragon, the one he did with Chuck Norris. So there's a lot of outtakes that they shot that still exist with that. There's stuff that Bruce Lee did. He shot a lot of things with a video camera he had, you know, with him in the backyard, training people, working on choreography. I've got this one piece of footage. He's not actually in it, but you hear him talking the whole time because he's directing his friend Dan Inosanto through a fight choreography for the Game of Death before they shot it. And it's all on video, and he's in Bruce Lee's backyard, and you hear Bruce Lee yelling at him and saying, "No, do this. Oh, better. That's good." You know, so there's, believe it or not, there's a lot of footage still out there. It's just what happened at that time. it's film that people just didn't really take care of. So people are still digging it up. And I'm going to Hong Kong at the end of November and for this documentary. But I'll tell you, I'm going to be like asking questions when I get there.
So you make what's the plan? You got the book and the film coming out. Where are you with these, and when can we expect to see them?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm an overachiever for sure. I mean, I've got a career that I have, as an actor and a director, and that takes up most of my time. But it's like this. I've always wanted to write a book, so that's how this thing with the book started. I actually started doing it about 8 years ago. I had all these posters and lobby cards and photos that I'd had since I was a kid, and I was pulling them out of my storage. I mean, hundreds. And I said, well, maybe I'll find a book company that would publish like an art book on the Bruce Lee exploitation posters, because they were so just outrageous, some of them. And I wrote a couple publishers, and one said, well, we don't want to do an art book, but if you want to write a story on this, we'll, write a book on this. And at first I was like, well, no, I don't know. What am I going to write about these things? And then as I started thinking about it, all this stuff started coming to me. And before I know it, I had this 400-page manuscript with this company. And then that turned into working with Severin Films here in the United States to doing this documentary to be a companion to the book. And so we are going, the book will be coming out later the beginning of 2017, as will the documentary, because we're going to leave in end of November. Actually, we're flying. We're in the air on Bruce Lee's birthday, November 27th. So it's kind of interesting.
Michael.
And then we should have it done by the beginning of 2017.
Listen, the Skype is breaking up just as we get to the half hour mark. So don't worry about it. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it lasted this long. It never normally lasts this long, and it normally goes terribly, terribly wrong. At Bruce Lee Clones is your Twitter feed of people, and you post such wonderful, beautiful lobby cards and posters and things like that. And I suppose if people have got any stuff in their collection that maybe they should get in touch with you on there and share it with you.
Yeah, if you hit Bruce Lee Clones, that'll focus on the book. If you go to Michael Worth, that'll be talking about more of the movies and stuff I'm doing. Because I do actually, just on this note, I've got a film. It's an action film. We're going to do it at the beginning of middle of next year, so the spring. And I'm trying to get a couple of the clones to come be in it. It's a big kind of Expendables martial arts film.
I felt a little twinge.
I'm working on it.
I felt a little twinge downstairs when you said that. Final question.
And Bolo.
Final question. Bruce Lee, have you found him? Do you know where he is? Is he talking?
What? I will tell you this, and I'll give you the first exclusive. Bruce Lee and Dragon Lee, we've contacted all of them, and so we are hoping to have an interview with each of those guys. And not only that, but we've talked to a bunch of the directors and a lot of the co-stars, and so it's going to be a fun trip to Hong Kong, I'll tell you that.
Michael, I myself am deeply envious. Keep in touch. If there's anything we can do to help, please let us know. And I wish you the very best of luck, mate. Thank you for coming on and talking to us. And that's where.
You bet. I'll get you an autograph. You're going to get an autograph.
Oh, get me a Bruce Lee autograph. Seriously, man. Oh.
I'll work on it, brother. You know I will.
Michael, thank you very much indeed. Oh, man. You just heard 15-year-old me then. Oh, I might get a Bruce Lee autograph. Flipping heck. I know it was geeky. Thank you for indulging me on that. I just think it's such a fascinating little subset of cinema. Michael, I really appreciate that. At Bruce Lee Clones. 0844 499 1000 is the phone number. Let's do new and newish callers only tonight, please. So if you're a regular, thank you very much. Sit back, enjoy the show, put your phone down. If you've never called before, or maybe you've only called once or twice, well, why don't you make it a second or third time tonight? 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0844 499 1000 is the phone number. New and newish callers, please. So if you've called once or twice, and you call a second or a third time, that's fine. We do this every once in a while because sometimes I think people who haven't called before are a little reluctant to call because they feel it's a bit of a closed club, and people, they don't want to be heard and all of that stuff. It's not at all. Everybody is welcome to call in every night about anything. But tonight we're just going to restrict it a little bit. So regular callers, thank you. But, enjoy listening to some new voices and to some new people who might become regulars. After midnight, we're going to try and do a Periscope love bomb. So if you're watching on Periscope, which you can do now, I'm going to turn mine off at midnight because I'll need my phone as we try and hunt someone down. I think we'll find someone in the UK. We've tried Americans before. And they get quite sweary. So what we'll try and do is just after midnight, and it might not work. It took about half an hour last time to get it to work, and then it did, and it was stunning. But it might not work. I'm prepared to do that. I think we can experiment a little bit on a midnight on a Friday night. We'll try and find someone in the United Kingdom who is doing a Periscope to 0 or maybe 1 viewer. How's about that? You in? Download Periscope on your phones, guys, or go to periscope.tv. But download the app. It's free, and it will be helpful for you. What we do, basically, we find someone who's got one person watching. I give out their name, and we all pile in. So their viewing figures go 1, 2, 3, 4, 100, 200, 300, 400. And we're nice to them. There's no meanness. There's nothing nasty. It's a celebration. Okay? So download the Periscope app on your phones now while you're listening to me. In the meantime, let's go to Phil. Hip, 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 Phil.
I'll do.
Hello, Phil. How you doing? You all right?
I'm not bad. How are you?
Do you know what? I'm good. I'm really. I say this every night. I seem to, but I'm really tired. I had the boys today, so I got about 4 hours sleep. I took them to school, and then normally when I do that, Phil, I go back to bed for a few hours. And I got back to bed. I was in bed by 9:15 this morning, and I was wide awake. I couldn't. My brain was like. Bzzz, and I gave it 20 minutes. I thought, I'll stuff this. And I got up and did stuff. So I'm shattered, man.
I know that feeling. I have a little boy who sleeps with his feet firmly in my head.
There's that. How old's your boy, Phil?
19 months.
Oh, beautiful. There's that real myth, isn't there, of, a family sleeping in bed together, and it's dad on the left, and it's the two children nice with their heads on the pillow in the middle, and mum on the right. And I've never experienced that. That you're right, the feet go in the head, or they roll you so you're right on the edge of the bed, or they're upside down. But generally, yeah, it's feet in the head.
Always.
How do they
it's never like a head in the head. It's always feet.
Yeah, and my boys as well. They just keep farting. You're being.
I've kind of gotten immune to that.
You do. But the thing, and my boys are 6 and 4, 7 and 5 soon, and I know that probably really soon with the eldest one, he won't want to get in bed with me anymore. So I'm just making the most of it while they still want to do it, because I know there will come a point where they don't want to do it anymore.
You know, I do that. As far as I'm concerned, it's not a problem because you'll never get that again.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you'll get parents say, oh, don't let them sleep in your bed. Yeah, and I kind of get that, and I like to, if they fall asleep in my bed and I'm awake, I'll probably go and put them in their bed, but they'll get back in. It'll pass. At some point, they won't want to do it, and it will probably be in about 3 or 4 years' time, I'll suddenly go, oh, the boys haven't got in bed with me for the last couple of months. And that'll be it.
Well, it's like a little miniature Bruce Lee, which brings me on, segues to the real point here.
Yeah, go on.
I've been listening to what you guys have been talking about tonight.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I have taken from the Bruce Lee thing, and I love him to death as well, is you've not mentioned the thing I found on YouTube where is Bruce Lee playing table tennis. Have you seen it?
Oh, no, now this is the computer-generated thing, isn't it?
No, it's not.
What? No.
No. It's in black and white.
Shut up.
Basically, he comes up against a table tennis player, and he's playing him with nunchucks.
That is not real.
No, it is real. No, it is.
Hang on a minute. To promote a cell phone from Nokia, I'm suspicious by that. Bruce Lee was sponsored in a ping pong tournament. There we go. Let's have a look.
Look. Get on YouTube and have a look.
Oh, wait, hang on. It
He
turns out
starts off against one guy.
it is real.
And then there's two guys. And I've showed this to people many times. And what you end up doing is the noises. No! you end up doing it. And at one point, he actually roundhouses the table tennis ball.
Do you know what? It does. He's just roundhoused it there. It does look brilliant.
Looks are great, but I'm going to roundhouse the ball across the table.
One of the things I didn't mention.
Amazing thing.
One of the things I didn't mention to Michael was that Bruce Lee had the best sounds. The best sounds. And also that he was arrogant. In his films, he's so arrogant. That bit where he thumbs his nose and then he beckons the opponent to come over. It's so cocky.
Come on, the best quote, and it's not even the whole quote, is, "You have offended a Shaolin temple."
Don't think, feel. It's like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all the heavenly glory.
Oh, there it is.
I know, I am digging out my Bruce Lee DVDs this weekend. Yeah, go on.
Look, go on YouTube, even if it is not real, and I'm guarantee it's absolutely real. It's all in black and white.
It must be real then.
Well, of course it is. It's in black and white.
It is real. Yes, I'm on your side. It's 100% real.
But even if it's not real, it's the most spectacular thing in the world. And Jackie Chan can leap off a car park roof onto a balcony.
Yeah.
And Jet Li can do whatever he does. But they'll never come anywhere near Jackie Chan.
Bruce Lee, have you seen this? There is an advert that they did about 3 years ago where it's Bruce Lee. I think he's advertising whiskey, and it's all computer generated, and it's brilliant. You would swear you were watching Bruce Lee advertising whiskey. It's wonderful.
Well, I can't understand how they let him down to have Michael Carradine.
In Kung Fu, David Carradine. But it's supposed to be him. Bruce Lee was supposed to be the lead in Kung Fu, and they gave it to a white guy.
It's like, what?
I know. It's Phil. Listen, that's a wonderful clip. I'd not seen the ping pong thing before. Thank you for that. And Kung Fu was supposed to be Bruce Lee's big TV break after the Green Hornet, and they gave it to David Carradine, a white man who can't do Kung Fu. I used to love Kung Fu as a kid. It was the one with Grasshopper, remember? Grasshopper, it was all that. 0844 499 1000. Scott, Jim, new and newish callers only tonight, please. Thank you.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hey, earlier on today at 6:46, 6 minutes after it was booked, because when we phoned up he went, "You're 5 minutes early." It wasn't. We phoned. No, it wasn't Steptoe, as my impression would have given you. We spoke to John Lydon, Johnny Rotten, as some of you lazy slackers might know him, John Lydon, and what a charmer! What a delightful camp showbiz old queen, but in just the most possible positive sense of the word. He was brilliant. We didn't mention punk once, and I'm so proud of that. He brought up the Sex Pistols. He mentioned the name Johnny Rotten. I didn't. Didn't mention punk. Didn't mention it at all. What did we talk about? Trump, Savile, Lockerbie. I'm a celebrity. I can't read your lips. We talked about stage fright, and Judge Judy. That's what we talked about. You won't hear another interview with John Lydon like that one, I can tell you. We'll play it one night next week, and of course we'll put it out as a podcast as well. I think it's really special, actually. It's a really good interview, and he's charming, and he's delightful, and I think he's quite deaf. I keep trying to interrupt. There's like a break in the conversation, and I go in, and then he just goes off again on a tangent, which is great. And I think it's more him being deaf than him than it being like a time delay thing, because it was in Los Angeles. But it started off badly. I said, John, what are you doing living America, I consider you to be quintessentially English. He went, well, considering I'm Irish, that's a bit of a surprise. But it was just a joy, an absolute joy. He was wonderful. Everyone should speak to John Lydon. 0844 499 1000. Jim, stay there. I'm going to go to Scott first, then I'll come to you. Yes, Scott. Oh, Scott's gone. Can we get Scott back, please? Jim.
Hello, Ian.
I don't know what happened, but Scott either died or got scared.
Oh, jeez.
So he's gone, man. Scott's dead. But we'll try and get Scott back. I'm sure we will. How are you doing, Jim? What you got for us?
I'm very well, thanks, Ian. I'm calling. I'll tell you what, I'm really glad I got through to you, actually. I couldn't sleep. I'm trying to go to bed early because I've got a cold and I've been sort of up early for work, and I thought I'd have a little sort of flick through the iPlayer app for some Radio 4 comedy, and it's Bobbins.
Yeah. A lot of it is. I'll tell you what I like on Radio 4 at the moment. And I can't think of what it's... Oh, no. It's a guy called Joe Lycett.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called Who... It's Not What You Know, or it's Who You Know, or something.
I've seen that. Okay, I'll try that, because there's the odd diamond in the rough. There's one that I quite like called Claire and the Community. I don't know if you've listened to that.
Oh, my mate Alex Lowe is in that.
That's right, he is. And what I like about it is it seems, because I'm a bit of a woolly liberal lefty, and it seems like to me that it's kind of woolly liberal lefties skewering woolly liberal lefties, sort of making a bit of, having a bit of a laugh at them, because I think, sometimes we can take ourselves a little bit too seriously, and it kind of, skews that a bit, and but that's worth a listen. But a lot of it is dross.
It's funny, because I like Claire in the Community because my mate Alex is in it, and I think Sally Phillips, I could just listen to her endlessly because I think she's brilliant. But I do think it's on the lighter side of funny. I wouldn't say it was laugh out loud funny personally.
Oh, I've definitely not laughed out loud at it. Absolutely not. It's, the odd it might elicit the odd chuckle.
Oh, in that case, then, I've
realised now that I've just sung its praises and then just completely damned it with faint praise.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think. Well, because you're right. I remember. You've got to be so careful what you say these days, Jim, because I was listening to a terrible programme on Radio 4. The 6:30 slot is it's the comedy slot, and it's very hit and miss.
The Now Show.
Yeah. I know. And I went on Twitter and said, this programme on Now is absolute rubbish. How did this get commissioned? And then one of my followers, who I chatted to occasionally, went, I produced that, Ian.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. And I said, oh, man, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have been so rude. I don't like it, but maybe I should have not been quite so vicious in my attack of it. And he went, well, we're not gonna, I don't like everything you do. You're not gonna like everything I've done. So we kind of got out of it, but it was awkward, which is why I try not to go online and slag stuff off anymore, because generally someone involved with it is following me.
Yeah, and it saves you chewing your own arm off in embarrassment. Yeah,
and when you do that thing, you just got to style it out and go, I said it, maybe I was a bit harsh, but it's kind of what I think. I'm trying to think, there's not... there were a couple of funny things on recently, and I can't remember... see, I quite like the news quiz, and I know...
Yes, it is good. It's better than the Now Show, put it that way.
The Now
Show, get the podcast of like the Friday night comedy, and the news quiz was always... I always enjoyed that, and then so they'd have that for about 6 weeks, and then the Now Show would come on, and I would sort of swiftly unsubscribe because that...
I like the news quiz because I like Miles Jupp.
He's great.
I love Jeremy Hardy. I've always loved Jeremy Hardy. I think he's just wonderful. I met him... 20 years ago, and because my sister was working with him, and he was so charming, so I've always got a soft spot for him. I like Susan Calman. And the other week, they had Frankie Boyle on, which I thought was a brilliant booking. He was hilarious.
I bet, because I like Frankie Boyle when he's kind of, when he's not allowed to go sort of full pelt, when he's kind of constrained a little bit by... sort of the way, the time and the station that he's on. I think he's funnier. I think, because I do love him, but I think some of his jokes, sometimes I think they kind of, maybe, I know he's he's a smart guy, but I think they might they kind of pick on the wrong people who can't defend themselves. But I think he's wonderfully intelligent and very funny.
We've got to be careful. I've just been tweeted. See, this is it. I've been tweeted by JP Devlin, who works on Radio 4, and he says, "Careful talking about Radio 4. We're listening to you." This is the thing.
I love it. I love. I mean, it's just some of the comedies. I'm not so keen on, but as a station, I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, for me. It's I don't listen to. Well, I listen to a bit of music radio. I do quite like listening to Mark Radcliffe on Six Music.
He's great. Yeah.
But that's the only one I'll listen to on there. But for me, it's between talk radio, LBC and Radio 4. Those are the ones that I tend to kind of, flick about.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm doing a bit of a hard left turn, but the reason why I called well, one of the reasons, had a couple of things. I called you about sort of 4 years ago when you were on Absolute, and at that time...
Was I rude to you?
No, you weren't at all. You were really polite, and you won't remember what it was. The topic was something to do with pyjamas. What do you wear in bed or something like that? When you used to do topics. And at that time, I was in the depths of alcoholism. And I rang up because I was really lonely, and I don't really remember what I said. And I found you again when you started on the BBC, and I've only ever listened to the podcasts and stuff. And since then, I've kind of been clean and sober for 3 years.
Hey, nice one, man.
Really, really enjoy your approach to this, Ian, because I think you've spoken about it before. It for want of a better term, the sort of the peaks and troughs, as in the kind of difference in the topics of conversation, and sometimes the screeches around to... Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
No, it's all right. No, I get it. You mean like the clunky gear changes between
but I like
light
that.
and shade? Yeah.
It's you know what, I kind of think that, since doing a bit of work on myself, I know that things that make me a bit uncomfortable are good.
Yeah.
And, and I sometimes I love those gear changes. I love your honesty and all that sort of stuff. And there's so many things I've watched. I've watched Times from hearing you talk about it on Absolute and all this.
Yes.
Threads, I hate to bring it up, but yeah, I've watched that.
Listen, we've got 2 minutes. And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. How you say you're clean and sober? You doing it in the rooms?
Yeah.
And how's that going for you? Well, obviously it's going well.
It is, man. It is. It's. I went very hardcore to begin with. A sponsor and the 12 steps, and now I have my own program, and I can dip in and out and speak to other addicts and alcoholics as much as possible. So it's great. It is literally it's life beyond your wildest dreams if it's for you.
Nice one, man. We have a lot of people. I know we have a few people. There are a few people that I know of. There are probably more who listen to this show, and when they listen to it, they're what's the phrase? In their cups or out of their cups. Either way, they're either drunk or high, and perhaps wishing that they weren't drunk or high. And hearing someone like you coming on saying you got 3 years is. It's not. I'm not saying someone's going to look at their bottle of wine and go, "Hey, I don't need this anymore." But it's hearing stuff like that. It just plants a seed. You know what I mean? Just plants a little seed that might grow tomorrow. It might grow in 5 years' time. It doesn't matter. But thank you for sharing that, Jim. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, Ian.
Nice one, man. Take care. Listen, I've got to go because I'm late for a break.
Of course, mate. It's lovely to speak to you, and I shall call again.
Don't make it. Well, if I was at Absolute, it must have been about 6 years ago. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. There we go, you see. Rob, I'm going to come to you after the news, if that's all right. So just bear with us. We'll be a few minutes. I like it when we do these shows. New and newish callers only. There's a real nice vibe. You don't need anything to call in about, okay? Don't just phone up and say hello, and we'll see where we get to with that. Sound good? Yeah. We phone you back, 0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A new kind of talk radio. We'll get you talking. Talk Radio.
0844 499 1000. It's a nice, relaxed Friday evening. New and newish callers only. You don't have to have anything to talk about. Maybe if you've just been thinking, I should give them a call. That would be the perfect time to do it. We'll call you back. It's Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Yesterday was kind of like the 4th of July. The way your face lit up the entire sky. Had to look away because it hurt my eyes. The way you hit me was a big surprise. Yesterday I really didn't know what to say. I wasn't making any sense, but it felt okay. Ask you if it was my birthday. This kind of thing don't happen every day. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. Yesterday I felt just like a child, a little curious, a little wild, live in the moment and you'll never go out of style. You know it's really been a while. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. Let me tell you, yeah. Excuse me, won't you step aside? I don't got a room for you in my life. I don't got the patience to love again. I don't got the guts to keep you as a friend. Be an angel to fly away. How have you reached some heavenly place? You come back when you're all done. And bring me some raindrops from the Today I feel like I'm doing time. I didn't think it would be such a shameful crime. It's been a while since I let you go. Time don't let regrets go. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. No, no, no. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. Hey. So I gotta welcome angels, welcome angels, welcome angels, welcome angels, angels, baby. Helping old lady up the stairs. Let a fat lady sit in your seat on the subway. Give a bum a meal. Bum a cigarette. And give it back.
She's on Twitter. Her Twitter account has she's been on Twitter for ages, but Imani Coppola hasn't tweeted for years, and now she's gone a bit tweet crazy. So, I suggest you find Imani Coppola on Twitter and you send her love, man. Send her love. Dean's unhappy. Hi, Iain and Kathy. Must be speaking to Ed. I was listening to your show last night and heard the interview with, I tell you what, Ed, why don't you come in here? And Kathy, you all right out there? Ed, come and join me in here. 'Cause we've never done it this way round. So is that okay? Is that okay, girlfriend? You okay with that? Come and join me, Ed. Come and join me in here.
So weird. Everything's backwards.
I know. It's kind of a bit of a backward show tonight. So let's. I'll move the camera around in a bit so the boys are going to see. Hi, Iain and Kathy. I was listening to your show last night and heard the interview with David Icke. I found it fascinating, but I heard Iain say that David will be in Brixton speaking on Saturday. I couldn't find details of this. Thanks, great show, Dean. Ed, would you like to explain?
Well, it was a pre-recorded interview that we recorded like months ago, and then played months ago.
Yeah.
And then played again last night, just for those that missed it the first time round.
Now, listen, Catherine and I went to the Tate Modern tonight. can't remember which one it was. We went to the Tate Modern because I did a job for Tate Britain, and they paid me in tickets to go to an exhibition at Tate Modern. Georgia O'Keeffe, and they gave me way too many tickets. So I've given you some tickets.
Yes, and thank you very much. We've already got plans to go tomorrow.
I think it's going to change your life.
Was it good?
It is absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic.
It is. There's a few photographs of Bush.
I like photographs of Bush.
Like classic old 50s Bush.
Like the good Bush. The good kind of Bush.
Yeah! Yeah! Like proper, before anyone had thought of taking scissors down there.
Before it was photoshopped.
Yeah! This is pure Bush. Terrible. Oh no, I can't do it. The Georgia O'Keeffe thing was bloody awful. It was awful. I can't lie to you. It was Catherine's plan. Let's lie to him and tell him it's brilliant. She gave me
the leaflet. I was looking through it. I was like, okay, this could be interesting. I'll find out what they think about it. And now you've kind of ruined this.
So, you're welcome to those tickets. I will not be in any way offended if you choose.
I'll bring you my report on Monday.
Well, it's an interesting place. It's an interesting building. And we looked there and we had a little look. Saw an actual Picasso.
But I thought the Tate Modern's meant to be all about that really.
This is what I thought.
Art that's not really art.
No, it's not. It's paintings. It's paintings. So we saw an actual Picasso in the same room as an actual Andy Warhol. Wow. That was
That's pretty cool.
Was cool. I thought, and I like a bit of Picasso. So you're looking at Warhol and went, oh, it's an actual Picasso over there, flipping it. And to see them for real is unusual.
Have you ever been to see the Mona Lisa?
Yeah.
Tiny.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to what you expect.
It's postcard. It's postcard size, isn't it?
Yeah. Ridiculous. Real buzzkill.
It's a real disappointment. But also, isn't the Mona Lisa in the same room as Michelangelo's David? Is that?
No, I think it's the same museum.
It's the same. Yeah, Catherine doing no, just because she's not in here. This is us talking. It's in the same museum, is it?
I think it's the same museum.
It's certainly, if it's not that, 0844 499 1000. If you're I'm not going to read. If you're going to type abuse, Catherine, I'm going to take a picture of it and I'm going to send it to the boss, the new boss. If it's not that statue, it's certainly a very, very famous statue that's in there.
I don't know. See, there were too many people in there that I just was focused on getting to the front. And then getting out of there.
I didn't get to the front. We stood at the back and we went.
Isn't it? It's a giant painting. There is something else in that room, but it's a giant painting.
No, it's a statue, man.
Really?
I know the difference between. I don't know art, but I know the difference between a statue and a painting. I think statues are weird. How do you make a statue? Do you have to? Is it the thing of you got a big block of stone and you?
We can do it with anything these days. I mean, that was how it was done back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They slowly chiseled it and polished it and sanded it and, made it all smooth.
I just couldn't be bothered. It seems like... and also, I'd get it just near the end and I'd chop an arm off. Well, they did, didn't they? They chopped the arms off.
Yeah.
So maybe that was it. Maybe
I'm making a statue, so I've got this... There we go. Hold up. No, that's not going to stand, so it's not even a statue.
Maybe I won't move the camera so you can see what's going on. Do you want to sit in here for a little bit?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Fine, let's go. Melissa, I will come to you in a second. Rob's been waiting for absolutely flipping ages. Good evening, Rob. You're through to Iain and Ed.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip. What kind of cake?
Oh, good question. Probably a Black Forest gatto, or is that technically a gatto and not a cake?
Well,
that's the question.
I'll let that into the cake category. It's a very 70s thing. Whenever my mum and dad had a dinner party in the 70s, it was always Black Forest gatto for dessert, which they would forget.
It was a go-to dessert, definitely.
Yeah, but they would forget to defrost it, so everyone would be eating frozen solid block. There's the same parties where they had prawn cocktail as a starter.
Of course. Oh, yeah, of course.
And you know how they made the kind of orangey, pinky prawn cocktail sauce?
No.
Do you know this, Ed?
No, I don't know how they make it, no.
It's ketchup and mayonnaise
really?
mixed up. Yes.
Oh, God.
It's
I didn't know
ketchup
that.
and mayonnaise. So, and I always thought it was this mysterious prawn cocktail, this mysterious thing. And I only found out about 5 years ago, it's ketchup and mayonnaise mixed up. And that, to me, is... I mean, that's a dinner in itself. Ketchup and mayonnaise in a dessert bowl. Oh, I'll have some of that. Anyway, Rob, what have you got for us, boss?
Well, just to go back to what you were saying, by the way, Michelangelo's David isn't actually in the Louvre. It's in the museum in Florence. So it's not in the same room as Da Vinci's Mona Lisa.
Rob, two things. Firstly, thank you for saying that in a polite way that didn't involve the F word, unlike a member of our team, Edward, who typed on my screen pretty much what you said, but had a lot more profanity in it.
Okay.
Secondly, Rob. Goodness sake. Well, what's the statue then? There's a famous statue there.
Well, I know the Venus de Milo's there, but I don't know if it's in the same room.
That is not in the same room. That is downstairs.
But that's the statue I meant.
That's the one in the same museum.
Yeah, it's the one. That's the one I meant.
But I don't know what else is in. I've been myself, but it's many years ago. I can't remember what else is in there.
Painting art is I find a little bit boring. I do like Picasso. I do get excited when I see Picasso because I read about him years ago. Picasso was accused of stealing the Mona Lisa.
No.
Yeah, this is...
Really?
The Mona Lisa went missing. I can't remember when. I'm going to say 1920, but I don't know. I've probably got the years completely wrong. The Mona Lisa went missing, and Picasso and a French poet called, I don't know how you pronounce his name, Guillaume or something, Guillaume. Anyway, they were accused of stealing the Mona Lisa, and it was like this big thing, and it was like, what the hell did they do?
This is when it turned up underneath his bed, is that right?
Well, I don't know. I thought it turned up, rolled up in the toilets of the Louvre.
Oh.
But I'm not sure. It was 22 years ago that I read this story, so some of the facts are being made up by my bullshine glands. It turned up. It turned up somewhere, and the suspicion was taken off them. But I mean, how cool would that have been?
That's a good. If he did steal that, I mean, that's a great. It's one of those sort of almost mythical stories that get passed down from generation to generation, even though they're probably not based in any sort of real fact.
Yeah. It's lads, isn't it? It's lads. And he was probably off his face on absinthe and probably opiates as well. That was what was going on there.
That's a possibility.
It's just it's as Donald Trump would say, it's just banter. It's just locker room banter.
Just bants.
Really?
It's just little locker room banter.
Stole the Mona Lisa. Oh, that was just some bants the other night.
Yeah. Hey, well, flipping it, what a night. God, got a terrible headache. Hey, what did we get up to, Picasso? Well, do you mean you don't remember? What? You don't remember what we nicked? What did we nick? Road cones? No. What, but some onions on the street? No. The Mona bloody Lisa. And he pulls it out. Flipping it. Oh, brilliant. So that's how I think it happened, Rob. Fair enough. That's my scenario.
That's fair enough. It was actually me who just texted you before you went on air to mention your profile picture in front of Babel in the Tate.
Oh yeah, now this was brilliant. This was if you look at my profile picture, I don't know if you've seen it, Ed. I've changed it. And I didn't know it was called Babel, but because I liked the piece of art so much, I didn't want to read. I didn't want to read about it. I just wanted to enjoy it for what it was. And it's this huge tower. I'm going to guess it's about 25 feet tall, made up entirely of radios. Cool. And some of them are on. Not all of them. I thought that was a design flaw. I thought they should all have been on. But it looks brilliant and it sounds brilliant. It sounds a mess. You got LBC on, so that sounded bloody awful. I thought that was really striking. Maybe it's because of this job I have. Maybe it's my passion for radio. But I thought that was really good. And it's kind of
it's incredible. I mean, it's one of those things and also because where it just dominates the room. It's just an amazing piece of art. But I hope you don't mind calling up tonight. This is my very first time calling the show, and
you're very welcome.
I'm a convert basically from the Adam Buxton podcast, and I've been listening to your podcast now for a while, and I've only just started listening to the live shows, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
No,
it really has.
Thank you, man. I'm so thrilled that so many people have found this nonsense because of Adam Buxton. Adam Buxton has been very, very kind to me. He's the sweetest gentleman, and it was I couldn't believe it when he asked me to be in his podcast because I was looking at all the people he'd had on, going flipping heck, all right. But that's brilliant, Rob. Thank you. We've had a lot of people that have found the show through that. I'm on Monday. I'm recording. I'm going on Scroobius Pip's podcast. I don't know if you listen to that as well.
No, I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I need to start listening to that because I know a few people have mentioned it and it's supposed to be very good.
It is good. he's really similar to Adam Buxton in that. I don't mean in style or anything like that. In the what do I mean by that? He's a really nice, honest, open bloke, and I'd never met him before, and he came on this show a few weeks ago. I don't know if you heard that one, but he came in.
Yes, I did.
And literally within 2 minutes, you felt completely relaxed in his company. Completely relaxed. And you get that from the guests. You know, you can tell that the guests have somehow, he's lulled them into this sense of you can say anything, you know, you can say absolutely anything. And he's a very sweet soul. You're right, Catherine.
I can believe that.
Yeah, he's a really nice
He kind of draws it out of them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I can certainly believe that easily, yeah.
And also, he's, him and Adam, both of them have achieved so much, kind of on their own. You know, a lot of the stuff those two in particular have done is off their own back, including record labels and TV shows and live shows and all of that stuff. They're very kind of focused, creative people, and I think they're both inspirations.
But Ian, not to blow smoke, I think it's the same sort of thing that you have as they have. It's that, you know, you lay yourself bare on the radio. You know, there's no facade. You are who you are, and I think people appreciate that honesty, that genuineness that really comes through, and that's what's kept me listening. If that's any consolation to you.
No, it is, and I appreciate that. I think they've got more confidence than me. That's what, and they both have doubts. They both question what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, but
especially with Adam, that comes from his podcast. I mean, especially. Because around Christmas, I'm not sure if you knew, but I think his dad passed away. And some of the podcasts he did around there, I mean, obviously you can tell how understandably devastated he was. But just to try, he was using this as an outlet. But again, it was so, I don't know, so refreshing to hear that, really.
I think a page has turned in terms of men talking about stuff like that and being open about stuff like that. And I think Adam is partly a flag bearer. I think Matt Haig is a flag bearer. I think Stephen Fry was, maybe 10 years ago when he... and I think, it gives me a lot of confidence that my boys who are 6 and 4 now, when they're, 26 and 24, will have just come on in quantum leaps in terms of men being able to talk about how they feel and being able to share that kind of stuff, because it's important, because it kills people.
Yeah. Can I ask, are you still doing Ian Bolesworth podcast? I know that he's in the process of doing like a podcast around mental health. Are you still thinking of being a guest on that?
Do you know what? Because I had a lovely chat with him, and I passed. The first time he asked me, I passed. I said, I'm not really in a good place to do that at the moment. And then I sent him an email about 2 months ago, said, I'm in. And he replied going, OK, well, let us know when. And then I never got back to him because I kind of sunk back down again. If he'd still have me, yeah, I'd love to. And I should, as the Americans say, I should reach out to him at the weekend. And because he may be hacked off that I said I'd do it, then I went quiet again. But I tend to do that much to my detriment. Rob, listen, I've got to move on because I'm really late for a break. But I'm really glad you've called. I'm glad you found us, and hopefully we'll get to speak again soon.
No problem. It's been a pleasure. Thank you,
mate. Cheers. Bye bye. You see, at night we get nice.
It's a nice vibe.
It's good. Always. We'll go to break in a second. It's always. Kath knows what button to press, don't you? Yeah. Cool. I always get a little bit of anxiety doing the new caller shows because you're never quite sure. But look, we've got Melissa coming up next. We've had loads of people. If you do want to call in, now is an excellent time. 0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late night Ian Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Just saying to Ed, I got an Uber earlier on today, and I asked the driver, Mohammed, that's his name, what my Uber rating was, because I didn't know. I was very disappointed to find out it was only 4.8.
That's not bad, though.
But 4.8, what have I done to warrant someone giving me a low score?
Did you haven't thrown up in the back of an Uber or anything like that?
Is that a bad thing?
That's a bad thing. It's generally a bad thing.
I bet it was when I had the kids in the car and the guy didn't like kids.
Yeah, that probably
What's your Uber rating?
4.6. I know. The thing is, I use it every night, so I use it to get home. I think maybe when I fall asleep in the back of the car, they're like, it's only a 4-star then. He didn't talk to me. 1 a.m.
New callers only. In 35 minutes, we're going to do a Periscope, a love bomb, where we find... Now, it might not work, and it's a little bit fiddly. It takes a few minutes for us to try and find people, and the first couple might not work. We try and find one person who's broadcasting on Periscope to one person, or maybe even 0 people. I announce their Periscope handle on Twitter and on the show, and on the command go, we all pile in. So their viewing figures. I think last time we got up to about 500. I think, briefly, and we're all nice. That's the key. You've got to be nice to people. It's not mean. It's not horrible. It's kind of a nice thing, and we all go and say hello and nice things, and we tell them they're on the radio and stuff. It might work. It might not work. There'll be a bit of faffing around as we try and find the right person that we want to go to. We'll do someone in England, I think, Britain, because we did some Americans last time, and they were very, very potty-mouthed.
Yeah, they got a bit sweary.
Very sweary. So my suggestion is we'll do that after 12, okay? And I'll be turning the Periscope off then, because I'll need my phone, which is there. So Periscope is if you want to keep on listening, you can go to talkradio.co.uk and you can listen live there, right? Cool. But I would suggest at home, dear listener, you download the Periscope app for free on your phone, or you go to periscope.tv and hang out and wait for us. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Melissa!
Hi.
I've kept you waiting for ages. I'm so sorry.
Oh, don't worry. Hi, Ian. Hi, Ed.
Hi.
I have to say hello to everyone on Periscope because I'm actually watching, and they forced me to contact as well.
They force you? The Periscope has ganged up you, horrible lot.
It was very forceful, as you can imagine. No, but the reason I'm calling, well, I have 2 reasons, actually.
Yeah.
But the first one is just in terms of your Mona Lisa thing there. I've been to see the Mona Lisa, right?
Yeah.
But do you ever go to a museum and you're really excited and you're like, okay, yeah, and then you go and you get to the painting and you're like, right, how long do we have to stand here and look at this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, that's what the Mona Lisa was for me.
Has there ever been anybody that's actually been satisfied when they've seen the Mona Lisa, where they've gone, yeah, that is a flipping good painting? I don't think anybody has, because all of the reproductions of it make it look like a normal sized painting, which it isn't. It's minute, and it isn't. I don't think it's that good. I don't get it. Why it's so good.
I did that as well. You know, when you're like, looking at it, going, does her eyes really follow me around the room? I totally tested it.
I'm surprised you could get around the room to test it. There's so many people there just trying to get their selfie with it.
Are you?
Yeah, no, there was actually loads.
Oh, were they doing selfies?
Go in the
then?
background.
When I went, Melissa, selfies hadn't been invented yet. But also we weren't allowed to take flash photography. Is that still the rule?
That's still the case.
That's still the rule.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But you do see loads of people still just doing it anyway.
Yeah, well,
people come over and give out. I think it's to do with the restoration of the photo.
Here's the thing. Right,
picture.
first of all, once you've taken the picture, they're going to make you delete it? Get lost, Le Parisian guards. That ain't going to work. But also, it's behind glass, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you don't want to use a flash because it will just
blow it out.
Yeah. You won't see anything at all. No, it's. I think surely we should. This is what we'll do. We'll compile a list of. You've got the 7 wonders of the world. We'll have the 7 disappointments of the world. There we go. And number 1 is the Mona Lisa. Now, I've never seen a pyramid, Melissa. Have you ever seen a pyramid?
No, it's on the bucket list, though. But I think I would be disappointed as well to see a Burger King in the background.
There is like a shop right next to them.
There's a whole town. You take your photo, and all those iconic photos are looking one particular way. You look the other way, and it's just surrounded.
Have you seen a pyramid?
No, my parents went a few years ago.
They're supposed to be a bit rubbish as well, aren't they?
Oh, my mum seemed to like them.
Are you allowed to go in the pyramid?
No, you're not allowed anymore.
Am I right
anymore?
In thinking, well,
yeah,
you were, weren't you?
Point.
Am I right in thinking the way into a pyramid is you climb up to the top and you move a rock and it's like a slide that goes round and round and round till you get to the bottom? Is that how you get into a pyramid?
I can't imagine so.
Oh. Is it true? And this is a genuine question, right? because I don't really know a lot about pyramids, as you're about to find out by this next question. Is it true, Melissa, that pyramids are full of booby traps, like in the films?
I have no idea. According to Indiana Jones, they are.
This is it. This is it. We all know, right? Fact that if you go into a pyramid, a hex gets put on you. That's a fact. Okay.
Well, it was put there by the aliens who built it. Of course
it was. Of course it was. But are they filled with booby traps? Like if you open the wrong door, do two massive trunks come swing out the side and crush you, or does the floor give way? I mean, because they must have put traps in there because they put their kings in there.
I thought the trap was that Brendan Fraser would run out and tell you to run from the mummy.
He's referencing a film that I haven't seen, Melissa. I don't know the social etiquette.
I think I have seen the film he's referencing.
It's Omar Jalili.
Oh yeah, he's in that film.
Thank you very much, Adi. I knew if I just smiled at you long enough, you'd say something.
No, I do remember that, but yeah.
Well, okay, we're going to compile a list. The 7 disappointments of the world. But Venice
I ask you my other thing, or bring up the other thing I wanted to say to you?
Go on.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a bit shy because I've never been on the radio, so bear with me.
That's okay. You're doing very well.
Thank you. So I wanted to get your thoughts on Michelle Obama's speech with reference to Trump's recent kind of comments.
She's gearing up to become President of the United States of America in 8 years' time, isn't she? That's what she's gearing up for.
I think she'd be brilliant.
I think she'd be great. I didn't really hear all of her speech. I mean, it was basically just saying that Trump was a dick. Is that what that was the thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
And, I'll go along with that, you know. And I can't understand how anybody can still defend Trump as it being a bit of banter when he's said that he wants to go out with a 10-year-old girl when she's a bit older. What? I mean, we've all asked 10-year-old girls, and where's your husband? Because they go, I'm not married. And what do you do for a living? I go to school. But to say in 10 years' time, I'm going to be going out with her. That's weird. To say that your daughter is hot, and that if he wasn't married, he'd be going out with her. That's weird.
There's something wrong with that.
Yeah, and going around grabbing women's what's-its, that's sexual assault. So, I can't understand, Melissa, how anybody can defend it. I don't think he's going to win it now.
No, I think he's gone too far.
I think he has. And do you know the turning point for me, in terms of, because I always thought he was going to win it, was when Schwarzenegger said, I'm not voting for this guy, I'm voting Clinton.
Oh, I didn't even know he had said that.
Yeah, he said it. He said it on Twitter, of course. Where were you? He said I can't. I don't know if he said he voted for Clinton, but he certainly said I can't vote for this guy. While I think the Republicans are important, I think my country is even more important, and I cannot vote for this guy. And when he came out, I thought, right, that's a big name to kind of turn the tables on him. But he won't. Here's the thing. Here's my thoughts on it. I don't think he'll win it, but. Like with Nigel Farage, the genie is out of the bottle now, and you can never get that genie back in the bottle. And the genie is, with Farage and with Trump even more so, is racial hatred, misogyny, sexual aggression. This is with Trump now, and just meanness. Just meanness. And now, for the first time, really, the political theme in this country in America is just mean. It's just mean.
Yeah, it's horrible, and especially if you have kids and trying to explain to them, you know, if they have questions, trying to explain why are they being so mean. You know, when it's good that children are showing an interest, but they're hearing the wrong message, and that's why they're getting interested in it. And it's not really the message you want to deliver to kids.
Oh, he's made it into a reality show. You know, as the hilarious tweet that I retweeted yesterday, and it's got about 15,000 retweets. I can't wait to see the season finale of America. And it's just such a delicious line, you know. I think it's spot on. Melissa, I've got to move on. I'm so late for these ads. I'm all over the shop. I'm so glad you called in. Thank you. We'll speak again. 0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0844 499 1000. It's new and newish callers only. We're kind of messing things around a bit. Ed is in the studio with me.
Hello.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Paul. Good evening, Paul.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you, mate? You okay?
All right, buddy, all right. We were talking about Egypt earlier.
Yeah.
We went to Egypt about 5 or 6 years ago when you could go there.
Yeah.
And we took a flight to Cairo from Sharm el-Sheikh.
Yes.
And it was literally behind the Sphinx, if you like, and the pyramids, Burger King and McDonald's.
Is it really?
Yeah, man.
That's brilliant, because I would get very hungry. I get hungry when I go sightseeing, and I like to know what food I'm getting. So actually, that's a stroke of genius from the King and the Clown.
This isn't a disappointment to add to the list. This is a good thing.
This is a great thing. Is it? I mean, I never forget, Paul. Me and my friend went.
Yeah.
We were in Hong Kong for a holiday, and we flew over to China for 3 days, and we had a friend who kind of worked there, and he got us this driver, and we said, we want to go to the Great Wall of China, but we want to go to a bit that is not touristy, that tourists don't go to at all. Just want to see, what it's like for real. And they went, yeah, sure, no problem. And he took us to this place, this tiny little village, right? And as we kind of walk, you have to walk up a hill to get up to the thing. These two women started following us and were selling us, tourist books and stuff. And we kind of thought, oh, well, okay. And we bought a book, and they went. And then we're on the Great Wall of China, right? And we look to the left, and for miles, all you can see are the mountains and the Great Wall of China. And to the right, all you can see for miles is the Great Wall of China. We thought, wow, this is it. No one sees this bit. And then we walk to the right about 5 steps, and it bends. It's not straight, the Great Wall. It kind of bends round. And as we turn this corner, there's a shop on the Great Wall of China. And it's this woman, and she's got, like, a freezer selling Cornetto, and she's got, like, magazines and chewing gum and sweets. And there's a kid on a bed playing a hooky Nintendo. And we're going, flipping heck! And there's no escape from it anywhere. Were you disappointed with Egypt, Paul?
I was, but I've ticked it off my list. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah.
And granted, though, I heard someone earlier saying you can't get into a pyramid, and you can. You can get into one of the pyramids, because I've been in one of the pyramids, granted and honestly.
How did you get into one of the pyramids, Paul?
We paid a lot of money, me and my ex-missus, and it was about 10 of us, and but basically you have to crawl on your hands and knees, because there's no space to get down to a tomb, in inverted commas, which is basically a little 6-foot hole in the ground, and there's nothing in there, and that's genuine.
And is that you sure you were in a pyramid? You didn't just climb under some bloke's shed?
Ian, I'm being genuinely honest with you, buddy.
But there's rooms in the pyramid, aren't there? There's chambers and antechambers.
You've got it, mate. You've got it, yeah. So you've got to crawl down on your hands and knees into these chambers, and it's all for tourists. Definitely, 100%.
Is there a shop selling cornetos there as well?
There's a Coke machine inside it. And when you say it cost you lots of money, were you there? Was this a bit hooky? Was it a bribe that you paid?
Well, we were there. We flew from Sharm el-Sheikh to Cairo, because that's where they are. Yeah. And the Sphinx was that's what we went to see, the Sphinx. And then we turned around and we seen what it was, and then basically we got invited to carry on to see the 7 wonders of the world. Well, one of the 7.
Well, all 7 of them. Blimey, that's a true. How much did it cost you to get inside a pyramid?
It was about 100 quid each. But we had the money to do it at the time.
Well, I mean, do you know what? If you go on the London Eye, or you go to a London tourist attraction, you could be paying not much less than that. So
it was about 500,000 Egyptian dollars, because it's Egyptian dollars we paid, which was a lot more than
2 questions, Paul. Did you see any booby traps?
No.
Have you or your... I I was about to say, have you or your family experienced a curse? The eagle-eared amongst you will have noticed... Well, no, the eagle-eared amongst us would have noticed you said you went in there with your ex-wife, so the marriage was doomed because of the curse put on by Tutankhamun himself.
Oh, why does it bring that up for?
Well, you said it! You mentioned your ex-wife! Is it because of the curse?
No, it's because she was married.
Oh, in that case, in that case we won't
She
press.
had a lot of money, to be fair. She had a lot of money, to be fair. At least happiness is the way forward, isn't it?
There we go. Paul, listen, thank you, mate. I appreciate you sharing your story about going into a pyramid. That sounded like a bribe. So if we were to do phone-ins, the two phone-ins would be the 7 disappointments of the world and where have you bribed to get into? What have you seen because you've put money in someone's hand? That's what we'll do. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. New and newish callers only, please, for the next 20 minutes or so. And then we're going to try and do a Periscope love bomb. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. New and newish callers only, please. And normally at this time of the night, I'm missing them. Oh, no, I'm not. Hang on, what am I missing? Oh, there it is. There it is. Normally at this time of night, the phones kind of dry up a little bit, and that's fine. In about 15 minutes, we're going to do a Periscope love bomb. Here we go. This is a headline. The Italian jobby. Do you know what a jobby is?
Is it something R-rated that you can only talk about after midnight? Or is that something else?
We don't have R-rated in this country. We have X or triple X if it's really naughty, and it means a poo.
Okay.
Brit. This is just, I mean, utter genius. Brit. Is this about Kath? I don't know. Brit gets off jet in Brindisi and does a poo on the tarmac. That's the story. That's the story. I don't really need to read any more, but I will. Oh, wait, 4991000. A British holiday maker has been fined £3,000 after pooing on an airport runway in Italy. David Sharp, 68, was caught short after getting off a 3-hour Ryanair flight from Manchester to Brindisi. This is incredible. About 50 passengers were gobsmacked when the pensioner dropped his trousers to squat on the tarmac and relieve himself.
Did he just not realise that he wasn't in a cubicle? Just on the tarmac?
I mean, I guess, you know, when you've got to go, you've got to go, but it does sound particularly unpleasant. I'm trying to find... I've lost... Well, that's interesting. I put the some new clips in there, and they seem to have disappeared. Oh, no, there they are. This is what...
I am...
That's not what we want. I really must tidy my way around my hotkeys. Is this it?
Are you mad?
That's what I wanted to play. Oh, wait, 4991000. Mr. Sharp got up and walked through passport control where he was stopped by cops and released after questioning. Officers later traced him and his travelling pal to the Casa Barocca B&B in nearby Lecce, where Mr. Sharp of Salford was fined €3,300 for committing acts contrary to public decency. Police said he offered to pay up immediately and went to a cash point to take out the money. Mario Marconi, Deputy Police Commander at Brindisi Airport, said, "Do I do the accent?"
Go on.
We will not tolerate this sort of behaviour. There was no need for him to do what he did. There were public toilets in the terminal, and he could also have used the ones on the plane. Oh, blimey, it goes on. He appeared to be the little worse for drink and was accompanied by another male passenger. This was a very embarrassing episode as it happened in front of around 50 passengers on the plane and airport staff. It's gone Jewish. He didn't say he was ill. I'm going to drop the accent because I've offended two groups of people. I'd hate to offend a third. When he was questioned, he went on, "This isn't something we deal with every day. The incident happened on September the 30th, but only emerged yesterday. Ryanair said an individual was detained. Mr. Sharp was believed to be still on holiday last night." Does anyone know? I want to talk to David Sharp. I want David Sharp on this show. Can we find David Sharp, guys? 0844 499 1000. Ty's on the line. Evening, Ty.
Evening, Ian.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip. What kind of cake?
Lemon drizzle.
Yeah.
I'm here to serve you, Ty.
I had to call because you're talking about someone pooing on the tarmac.
You don't know him, do you?
No, but I couldn't listen to it anymore.
Oh.
So I thought I'd call up and try and fill some space before you do your love bomb.
Hang on a minute, Ty. Are you suggesting that what I'm doing here now is just filler?
Filler? Yes.
Well, you would be absolutely 100% right, sir. That's nice.
I've been catching up on some podcasts as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how out of date this is, but mindfulness.
Yes.
Heard somebody talking about mindfulness the other day, and I wanted to extol its virtues and wondered whether you've done it yourself. Have you practiced it before? I
have done the Headspace app.
Right.
Which is a form of mindfulness. I tend to... I am trained in the ways of transcendental meditation. So I have my own little mantra. So I kind of do... If I need to meditate for a bit, I do that. I do my mantra, which is slightly different from mindfulness in as much as I've got a word spinning around in my head.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'll tell you what I like about mindfulness.
Yeah, go on.
Is that you don't look at it like sort of classic, how people look at meditation classically, that whole kind of emptying your mind space and having nothing there, because you can't do it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. So what I like about mindfulness is it kind of spins it around, and I think you sort of follow this sort of idea of accepting all kind of feelings and thoughts, and whatever's there is there, and, you know, it is what it is. And I think it just kind of takes that on a little bit further. So it's accepting what's in the head rather than trying to clear the head, because you can't clear the head. But if you recognise that there's always going to be stuff in there, then you have a choice about how you deal with what's in there.
Is that mindfulness is about being in that precise second, isn't it? Not looking back and not looking forwards.
Well, for my experience, and I've only been doing it for about 2.5 years now, there's sort of different levels. Right. Yes, there's a lot of it about the breathing. You probably hear a lot about that, about focusing on the breathing, which keeps you in the present moment. Yeah. You know, come back to the breathing. But you can still use it as a useful tool to examine your own thoughts and your own feelings. You don't have to... There's no sort of strict... It's a bit like the show, really. There's no kind of strict policy. You're entitled to kind of do whatever you want with it.
Oh, so hang on a minute, we could be onto the new thing here, Ed.
That's great.
Are you saying, Ty, that this show is a form of mindfulness for the radio waves?
Well,
yes.
I'm just saying I'm just saying there's similarities in the fact that there's no strict policy, and everything's welcome, and everything's sort of accepted.
Yes.
And so, in that sense, there is a parallel.
Do you? Let me ask you a question. Do you think the show would be better if it were more structured?
No, I mean freeform's great. I love it.
Freeform, 3 hours a night, 5 nights a week.
Yeah, I mean it's just chatting, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just chatting, and if you can chat, then 3 hours isn't really that long, and you get a lot of people. You get enough people calling up. That I think it's kind of quite varied, so you can get all sorts in one show. So we've had Bruce Lee, we've had pooing on a Italian tarmac.
You brought it up that time, buddy.
And now I'm talking about mindfulness. But it's a really useful tool, and also all those people out there, you know, with their sort of mental health issues, I find it a really useful tool in coping and helping with that kind of side of things, because what it does, it gives, certainly for me, gives me the power to choose how I react to those thoughts, and it's a really easy process. It's not a difficult thing to do at all, I think it's a bit like a therapist. If you find the right voice and the right person, and there's many people out there doing it, so it's easy to get hold of different people doing it. But if you find the right voice that guides you through it, and you find the right one that kind of connects with you, then it's a really easy kind of tool. And there's a handful of things that I've picked up from it that I use regularly. That it doesn't always work, it's not an absolute, because I still lose my shit sometimes.
It's nice to have a toolbox with as many tools in it as you can possibly get. I'm going to move on. Thank you for that, mate. I appreciate you sharing that. 0844 499 1000. I just want, before we do the Periscope Love Bomb, I want the clown story of the day. Oh, Ed, I think you'll need to do a little bit of back counting. Thank you. Clown story of the day, guys. And it turns out, the one bit of bona fide clown footage we had, right, was the guy in Uxbridge with the chainsaw, right? And the I think it was on B&Q footage. Well, it turns out he was making a video with his mates. So he wasn't running around with a chainsaw to burst out at people and terrify them. He was making a video with his mates. So, the one bit of genuine clown footage we've got is not what we thought it was. I love the fact his name was Kenny. Kenny. On Saturday night, a student dressed as a clown sparked terror by running through a university campus at Uxbridge, West London, with a chainsaw from B&Q. The 19-year-old, who gave his name only as Kenny, apologised, saying he was only chasing his friends at Brunel University to make a YouTube video. The father, who claimed he was disabled for life in an attack by a killer clown, was making it up, said police. Joiner, Simon Chinnery, 28, said his hand was sliced down to the bone by a 10-inch blade at a cash machine, preventing him from doing the job he loved. He said the clown had a green wig, red nose and red beard when it struck him Blackburn. But police said he was not attacked by a clown and injured his hand falling on broken glass. So, let's count the number of bona fide, verified clown attacks we've got in the UK. Oh yeah, it's none. It's none! It's not happening! Imagine if the papers were to print a story every day about, there's a load of rapes going on. Or there's a lot of murders going on. There's a lot of you wouldn't do that, but yet for some reason they think this is all right to do this and say it's happening. Killer clowns spark flood of calls from terrified kids to Childline. No, they don't. You running the blooming story newspapers have prompted a flood of calls from terrified kids to Childline. You've done it! Not the clowns, because there aren't any! Hundreds of terrified children are flooding Childline with calls about the killer clown craze sweeping Britain. It's not sweeping Britain! Figures released yesterday showed that in just 1 week, the charity was contacted 120 times by kids alarmed by strangers in scary clown costumes. Worst hit are Birmingham, Manchester and Nottingham. It's not happening, though, is it? It's not happening. After 12, we're going to try a Periscope Love Bomb. So if you're watching on Periscope, I'm about to turn you off. Go to talkradio.co.uk and listen live, or tune in your DAB radios. This will only work, dear listener, if you help. OK? It will only work if you help. We'll get Kath in the studio. We'll all have a go. We'll try and find some poor, unsuspecting soul, and we will make their evening. You up for it? You up for it? Good. Let's have a go and see what happens. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A new kind of talk radio. We'll get you talking. Talk Radio.
Right, download the Periscope app, go to your laptops, type in periscope.tv. We are going to try and find someone when we come back and see if we can make their evening. Next half hour, 40 minutes or so may or may not work. Bit of a punt. Let's see what happens. I'm Iain Lee. It's going up to midnight. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with fire up. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine. I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
We're all a bit tired here.
Right, Bagpuss.
Yeah, we're all a little bit tired here. Maybe are you tired at home, dear listener? You feel a bit sleepy?
It's because it's the night.
It's the night time. It's been a long old week. Okay, so we're going to try Periscope Love Bomb. You need the Periscope app, or you need your computer or your tablet or whatever to periscope.tv. I am looking at a map of the United Kingdom. What we're going to do is I'm going to find a person who's broadcasting. Now, this may not work. Now, I just need to plug my phone into the system now. This may not work, and it may. We'll do a couple of goes, and if maybe we'll do 2 or 3 goes, and we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work, it didn't work, and we haven't done this for a while, have we?
No.
We're almost going to do it every week, and then I think we've done it about 4 months ago.
Well, you know what we're like.
Lazy. So I want to find someone who is broadcasting to not many people. Ooh, I found a guy who's broadcasting to 12 people. Let's have a little look around, see what else we've got in Manchester. Wags is broadcasting to 2. Excuse me. It's so funny, isn't it? Just here we go. Happy birthday, Munna.
Right.
Should we go and have a little look and see what's going on here? Okay. Is it? Let me just ask. Is it your birthday? Is it your birthday?
Hamza Chaudhry's here. Is it your birthday? No, it's not my birthday. Is it now? Yeah.
I don't want to call. Whose birthday? Hang on, I'm just typing the message. Whose birthday is it?
Whose birthday is it? He's about to come, I think.
Okay, we're not going to go there. I don't want to go there because it's not. If it had been her birthday, that would have been delightful. There's one labelled Bants in Birmingham. I think we'll leave that one.
Give that a swerve.
Let's have a look. I don't.
Bants.
Babe, where are you? Okay. There's someone's doing a music quiz.
Okay.
There are 12 people there. Shall we?
We're going to ruin it.
Can me and my
Iain Lee.
friends? Hello. Can me and my friends come and play your quiz? Send him a message.
Hello, Iain Lee.
Can me and my friends come and play your quiz?
They can, Iain. They can. I like you, Iain.
Oh.
Your show is quite funny, Iain. You can.
Oh, hang on. What's your
It is MGMT.
He's done a quiz. What's your handle? This might not work because he's aware, but let's try.
It's formally like that. My handle is Johnny Blowtorch, Iain.
Right, everybody.
At Johnny Blowtorch.
Everybody, we are going to... Don't do it until I say go. Don't do it.
Very bad remixes of songs.
Don't do it until I say go.
How are we spelling Johnny?
I'm assuming Johnnny.
Yes.
Yeah, Johnny Blowtorch. Johnnny. Blowtorch.
No, I haven't got anything for it.
Pompeilu.
Yeah, it's there. Johnny, Johnnny, Blowtorch. You got to look for people.
Yeah, I am. No results.
Give us it here. Well, that's funny because that's...
Ian.
Yes?
Ian. Yeah, Ian. Ian, what are you doing? I follow you on Twitter.
Oh!
Are we talking about me on Talk Radio?
Yes, we are. They can't hear
Are
us.
you talking about me? Oh, shit.
Steady! I can't find out how you do it. Hang on. Guys, how do we find him?
It is New Order, Blue Monday.
At Johnny.
It's a mixture of someone else.
Hang on, it's got a capital J, capital B.
Does that make a difference?
Apparently.
All right. So, guys, we're going to go to...
Kylie Minogue.
Capital B, lowercase c, now.
Okay.
Go. At Johnny Blowtorch. Capital J, OHNNY. Capital B, LOTORCH.
Oh, God. What are you doing? What are you doing, Ian Lee?
It should be
What have I walked into?
www.periscope.tv/Johnny Blowtorch. You got
Martin
him?
C, yeah.
You got him?
Yeah.
Here we go. Join him now, guys. Pile in. Remember, be lovely. We've gone from 12 up to 84.
What's Yeah. Oh, thank you. Love bomb. Oh, thank you. I'm doing a quiz. I do music quizzes 2 or 3 nights a week, people.
Come on, guys. Everybody pile in. It's Johnny Blowtorch on Periscope. We're up to nearly 100.
I did.
Let's see if we can get him up to 200, shall we? There we go. Here we go. 107. 110.
DJ on the radio. It is Tequila. Well done.
He's still going.
Thank you.
Send him hearts. Send him messages. We're up to 117.
Yeah.
Can we get it up to 200? I'm just typing a message. Everybody pile in to www.periscope.tv/Johnny
Exactly, Mr. JK.
Blowtorch.
Name the song,
now.
name the artist, people.
133. Here we go. Oh, look.
Thank you, Mr. whoever that is.
He's playing. He's doing a music quiz.
We just asked what name the song is. Hello.
Hang on. Hello, Johnny. You can't hear me, by the way. I'm typing. You're
Thank you, people.
on
I do quizzes
the radio
Monday night, Friday night.
right now.
Blue Man Schuster there. Follow him. Thank you. Am I on the radio right now?
We love you. You've got 160.
Is it really bad? Sorry.
157.
Are you getting all the? Have you got the license to play all this?
Ask us a
sales
question.
music?
Here we go. Here we go.
It's not a quiz. It's a quiz.
Yeah? Give us a question.
Name the artist. Name the song.
Right, that he's playing.
These are all bad remixes, by the way.
Who is this?
No, not too bad. It's a love, exactly. Where's Mike Reed? Oh, thank you for the T-shirt. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, he's got a nice Ghostbusters Pac-Man T-shirt.
Stairway to, it's a quiz.
So doing requests.
Please follow and whatever.
Can we get it up to 200? We're on 175
It's not
people.
Ghostbusters 2, look, it's...
Someone's
Oh,
complaining.
I know this one.
Lou, calm down, Lou. Be nice.
Scope bombs are
It's
so
My Life,
2015. Unbelievable.
It's My Life.
I would go gay for what's his name? The guy who does Dermot O'Leary. There you go.
Dermot? Really? Oh.
It's My Life. Well done.
That's me. I won.
It's 2. No.
What do we win?
Here's, how about this one?
Oh, what's this one?
Thank you, people.
Keep sending those hearts, guys.
How the is.
All right. We're going to get... See if we,
It's a living in a box.
Hang on a minute. Let's see if we can get up to 200.
Living in a box, Upton, PK. Well
Let's see if
done.
we can get up to 200. Then we're going to...
Follow me on here as well. Please follow me on Periscope as well as Twitter, if you can.
Do follow... yes.
No, it's not. It's a quiz.
Do follow Johnny Blowtorch, guys.
Belle Ainsley.
If you're searching on Periscope, don't put the @ Just type in Johnny Blowtorch and it'll come up.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
Privet baby, I might block you for that.
Yeah, block Privet baby.
Touch my what?
All right, guys,
block.
listen. Let's say thank you, and we're all going to evacuate his Periscope. Thanks for being a good sport. Thanks for being a good sport and being on the show. Good luck with the quiz. And on the count of 3, dear listener, we're all going to say goodbye. 1, 2,
Thank you, mate.
3. Leave the room. Leave the room. There we go. You see, leave the room. Leave the room.
That was fun.
That was nice. It was a nice. It was a nice warm up.
We found the other listener.
Well, he wasn't listening. He's a follower, but he's not a listener. Has everybody bailed out of that room now? That's everybody leave. I need to tweet it because they're still all in there. Everybody leave. Everybody leave now. There we go. That was all right. That was an all right introduction. How funny. He follows me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Should we have another go at it?
Yeah.
I think we can. I enjoyed that, and he was a nice guy. I think we can. I think we can do more than that. I think we can do. I want to get someone who doesn't know the act and doesn't know what we're up to. Okay, so leave that room, guys. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to try and find somebody else.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Okay, guys, we're going to try another one. This time we're going to go to Northern Ireland. And the title is, He's Ditching Me, Well, So He Thinks He Is. Right? And I've just been watching this young lady, and she's in a car. Right? So, the name you want is Beth MCGX. BETHMCGX. Go, 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 go. Search on Periscope for Beth MCGX. Beth MCGX.
Well.
Hey, Bethany. Hi. And don't forget, be nice. No, why has she gone quiet? Oh, I've done me. Why can't I hear it?
Hi. Hep, 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 hooray!
My friends are coming.
Give me loads of hearts. What do you mean, what kind of cake? Why is everyone asking what kind of cake?
Against bound.
Come on, guys.
Alan,
Beth
what kind of cake?
MCGX.
Hep, hep, hep. I hope it's okay. Give me loads of hearts.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Where are these people coming from?
Where are these people coming from?
Invite your followers.
Yeah, we are, Bethany.
Invite your followers.
Oh, there's one dump. I got it. Let us know, how's that delay looking, Ed? Okay. That's okay. Let us know when we get a few seconds.
Why are they asking?
I love you.
We love you too. What?
I love you too.
How's that delay looking, Ed? How many have we got? That's plenty.
Follow me and I'll follow you back.
Right, what I'm going to do, because
him as well.
we don't want her to swear, so I'm just going to turn the volume down on mine a little bit. Let us know when we've got a few seconds. Please don't swear. You're on the radio. I'm going to send that when we've got some delay, because I want to hear a reaction. Let us know when we've got 2 seconds. Beth MCGX is what you're looking for.
She's got 150, 161, 162.
Good, I can't see the numbers.
Yep,
so you
164.
Keep going in there, guys. Keep sending love.
166.
Be nice. Be nice. This is all about being nice.
This poor girl's completely freaked out.
Is she swearing?
No, I don't think so.
Ed, what have we got? Okay, fine. We've got 2.5 seconds. So
Go on, tell her.
please don't swear. You're on the radio.
Do you like tennis? Yeah, it's okay.
You're on the radio.
Please don't swear. You're on the radio. What?
Keep going, guys.
Talk to us. You are a star. You're like the radio.
We love you. She seems very sweet, doesn't she?
What do you mean I'm on the radio? Talk radio?
Yeah, you're on Talk Radio.
Talk radio?
Oh.
What do you mean I'm on talk radio?
Go to
What do you mean?
www.talkradio.com or .co.uk.
.co.uk.
Talkradio.co.uk, go on to it.
And
What it is. Talkradio.co.uk with Iain Lee. What do you mean? Like, follow me on Twitter, Bethany MCGX. No,
We love
Bethany MCG.
200. We're over 200. That's it, guys.
200
on Twitter.
Let me go on Facebook.
Yep.
What do you mean?
$100.
Okay, I won't swear.
$100.
There we go.
I
She's
won't
good.
swear.
She's a nice lady. Go to
No
www.periscope.tv/.
way. Can you go back and look at it?
Well, it's MCG.
What do you mean I'm on talk radio? Someone record it and private message me a video on on Twitter.
Go online. To
Yes, okay. Why am I on the radio?
I'm on the radio. Let's make it famous radio. Come on. Let's make it.
How did 2 minutes? What?
We love you. What kind of cake?
Hip hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip hooray!
I love you, Daddy.
Hip hip hip! Hip hip hip! Hip hip hip! Hip hip hip! Everyone follow me on Twitter
Oh, my sister's there.
and
Look.
Periscope.
That's my sister's in New Zealand watching this
follow me.
nonsense. Ian Lee
Okay,
has
yes, I'll follow.
Ian Lee has keypad tone
Anyone
switched
follow
on.
me,
It's a
follow
phone
me back.
crime. I don't know how to turn it off.
Streamed on the radio. Why am I being streamed on the radio? Can someone tell me? Like,
It's working.
it's talk radio or something. Yeah. What do you mean I've won a car?
Hang on a second.
You've won a car, someone's telling her.
What are you doing in that car? That's very suspicious. There's two.
What do you mean I've won a car?
You have not won a car.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Hip hip hip. Hip hip hip. Tuna fish. Pick and Perry stream at random.
Get some of those hearts going,
Not won a
guys.
car, you've not won a car. What kind of cake? We love you, Beth. St. Alan, what kind of cake?
No cars
what kind
left.
Of cake?
This is just nice, just sitting and listening to them, isn't it? Oh, come on, Dale boy, that's not nice. Come on, let's be nice. You're not one of
Listen
us.
to the podcast tomorrow.
Well, it won't be out
Okay.
tomorrow. Give you till Monday.
Follow me on Periscope and I'll follow you back. Follow me on Twitter also.
How do you do like a private car?
Someone's just mentioned
The nine?
something. This is terrible radio. Ring the show. What's the number for the show?
How do you put like a private car?
Don't do private call.
What?
Don't do private call. What's the number of the show? 0844 499 1000.
You don't want to be getting spam all then.
That seems to be it because loads of people are hitting that in. 0844 499 1000. Hip hip hip. Hip hip hip. Hip hip hip.
Watch
Okay,
them.
we're ringing them now. Yes, it is. Okay.
Let's have a word.
What's he on about? I'm wetting myself. What are you talking about?
I don't want my number to be getting called to call you.
Why? Come into my house. Answer it. Answer it. Gives it.
Oh, they've turned the lights on. Look, they won't answer the phone.
Just answer it. Hello?
Hi, I'll put you through to Iain.
Okay.
Hey, Bethany, how you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
Yeah.
We can see you in your car.
What the hell are you two doing in that car at 25 past midnight?
We're, just coming home. Where did you find me?
We're just doing a thing where we're a bit bored on air, and we're going around Periscope, and we were trying to find people who didn't have many people watching them, and we saw you, and
This is so funny.
I was intrigued by your title. He's ditching me, well, so he thinks he is.
Tell everyone to follow me, and I'll follow them back.
Well, everyone follow Beth MCGX. Is he ditching? Is that your boyfriend?
I'm on Twitter, Bethany MCG_.
I could. Is that your boyfriend?
No. Have I won a car?
No, you have not. You have not won a car, Bethany. That was someone telling you a wicked lie. You have won £1 million. No, you haven't. There's no prize for this. It's just we send lots of nice people just to come over your way and send you lots of hearts. And
So am I actually live on the radio?
You're live on the radio now.
So can I listen later?
Well, yeah, but we're online or DAB, so you probably won't be able to listen. But have you got a smartphone?
Yeah, I do. Can I listen to it tomorrow then?
You'll be able to. We'll put it out as a podcast next week. You'll be able to hear it Monday or Tuesday.
Oh my God, this is so funny.
But if you go on your phone to talkradio.co.uk, you'll be able to listen to us talking about this now.
Ooh, yeah.
So where have you been tonight then? Hello, I can see your fella looking in the phone. Look, it looks.
Hello, hi.
We just went for a drink and then came home.
Are you two meant to be together?
Are we?
What?
Are we?
Are you meant to be in? We've not stumbled across something we're not meant to stumble across, have we?
No, this is nothing illegal. Don't worry.
Okay, fine. Well, that's good then. I was worried that maybe you didn't want to be spotted together. And so, who are you? Who are you, Bethany? What do you do for a living?
I'm a student. I do media.
Hey!
Yeah, I do radio too. Woo!
What do you want to do then? You want to work in media, do you?
Yeah, I want to do journalism or radio broadcast.
Oh well, listen, you've
done one.
You've done one tonight, Bethany. And
how did you find me?
Well, listen, how did we find you?
No, how, do I come across as good?
You come across as excellent. You've got an excellent voice. You've got a really lovely personality, although I had to turn my phone off a couple of times when you started swearing, and I had to use...
Sorry, I didn't know what...
No, I know you didn't know, and I had to use the dump button a couple of times, but you come across, you've got a lovely voice, and you come across as very charming and very personable, and that's the most important thing if you want to be a broadcaster.
So did you follow me on Twitter? Well, I know who you are.
Do you know what? I'm not going to follow you on Twitter. But I will send you a message. What's your Twitter name?
It's Bethany MCG_, I think.
Bethany MCG_.
I think.
Oh. Think. Let's have a little look.
It has Queen as the thing or something.
Do you like volleyball?
No. Try Bethany MCGX.
MCGX. Okay. Let's have a little look. Oh, yeah. I'll send you a message.
Okay.
Listen, you've been a really good sport. We're all going to disappear now, so your numbers are going to drop down to 5 again, okay?
You can carry on doing whatever you were doing.
You carry on doing. You enjoy your Friday night, young people. I remember being young.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks for being a good sport and enjoy your evening. Take care.
Okay, see you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. There you go, you see. And that's it. She was lovely, wasn't she?
She was so good.
What a good sport. Everybody, say goodbye. And let's leave Bethany's... let's just hear her. Let's see what she's saying. Hang on a second. Let's just hear.
Oh my God.
Mate, we were on the radio. Oh, everyone follow me. I'll come on tomorrow if all of you follow me, you know. Bye.
Hello. Bye. Nothing to see here.
Bye.
Does that seriously have to happen?
See you later.
Why did I not get done?
Bye from Germany.
This is great. We never get to hear after the phone call. This is brilliant.
I can't cope.
I've heard that guy.
Oh.
Bye. See you later.
He's a bit of a knob.
Bye-bye.
Wasn't he on U Tree?
Hey,
I never saw that happen in my life.
Bye. That's brilliant, like, isn't it? They seen my thing. I was like, he's ditching me. And they thought, oh my god.
Good title. It's a good title.
So funny.
Use that next time we Periscope.
I actually thought I'd won like £1 million.
Oh.
What is going on? Thank you.
Oh, all right. Let's say goodbye.
Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and on Periscope.
I'm not going to do that. There we go. That worked well, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was a nice one. Well done, Ed. Excellent. We could hear you through the Periscope. It was incredible. Technology, huh? Isn't that
It's the
weird?
future. We're living in the future.
That's enough. That's. I'm happy with that. We'll stop on there. I'll tell you what. Last 30 minutes of the show. When we come back, we'll have a quick break. When we come back, we'll dissect that and we'll talk about that and what we can learn from that or what we can take away. And we'll do Call Straight to Air for the last 30 minutes. How's about them apples? We're spoiling you with content this evening. 0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
At Bethany MCGX, if you do want to follow her on Twitter. I don't follow many people, but I've just sent her a message. If you do message her, be nice. She was what a good sport. What a good sport. Someone's saying she's won a car. That's a cruel.
I know, he did apologise and said he's had a few Polish lagers.
That's a cruel trick. Call Straight to Air for the last 30 minutes if you want. 0844 499 1000. I like that. It was nice. Two nice people. The first one was nice. It was. I mean, what are the chances of him being a follower on Twitter? That was a real surprise. And what was interesting, two completely different reactions, because he was really the first guy who was doing the music quiz was really keen to stay in control, to not panic, to not get too excited, to accept that this is going on. I make up that he was partly worried we were going to go on and take the piss, and that's not what it's about at all. He's doing his music quiz. He carried on doing his music quiz. Good for him.
I had a go. I won a couple.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, you have 5 people watching to start with, but isn't that interesting that Periscope and Twitter and all of these things, Periscope particularly, I suppose Facebook because you can stream live on Facebook now, but you have to have an audience. This more random people can find you. It gives people the opportunity to present TV shows and present radio shows. And yes, it might only have an audience of 5 people.
Yeah.
But that's, we dream of getting audiences of 5 people.
I would have loved that when I was a kid.
Yeah. Totally. And he's... we were watching a gentleman yesterday in Las Vegas who blocked me because I asked him to say candy ass. And anus. He wouldn't. He said fanny, though, but it means something different to that. But he was, he was kind of talking about politics and things like that. Whereas I thought what that guy was doing, the first guy was doing, was great. It was like... And he had disco lights going on as
he
well.
thought about it, yeah.
What a charming way to spend a Friday evening, put on some disco lights and do a music quiz for 5 people. Brilliant. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I wonder what... I'm really tempted to do another one now, but I'm not going to, because I don't want... That last one was pretty spot on, so I don't want to. But I wonder why he does it. I wonder why at 10 minutes past 12 on a Friday night, Saturday morning, he thinks that, that's what... I wonder if he's drunk, or if he's lonely, or if he's just enthusiastic, or if he's, a frustrated performer. I wonder.
They might be his friends from around the world.
Yeah, they could be. They could be. It could be an invited audience. And then Bethany was, just... It's funny because I can't, how old was she? 20?
Mm.
I remember being sat in cars on a 12:30 on a Friday night at 20 thinking, there's nothing to do, is there? But I don't want to go to bed because I'm 20 and... and being a passenger, I may have been a bit boozed up, or you've got that freedom. You've suddenly got that 18, 19, 20. You've got that freedom of a car, and being sat there. 0844 499 1000. By the way, call straight to her. But then having that extra tool of Periscope. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wonder what she...
I think it's still slightly different for girls. I don't think it's quite the liberating thing that it could be.
What? Tell me why you say that.
Well, because you know what happens whenever I go on Periscope. For all the wonderful things, there are blokes that go on there just thinking you're going to get your bits out. And you get quite a lot of pervy stuff, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's strange.
Mm-hmm. Well, it happens.
Well, that will only get worse when Trump becomes president, and
it'll be him.
And grabbing the persuage becomes the 15th Amendment or whatever it is, whatever we're up to now.
It'll be federal law.
It'd be a offence not to grab a persuage whilst jaywalking.
God, he's vile, isn't he?
0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. I enjoyed that, dear listener. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I'm glad we got a good run of people on there.
Should we phone Dennis back? Because he did ring before the news and I said we'd give him a buzz back.
Oh, if you want to give...
Can you ring him back? I just hate to think of him sitting there twiddling his thumbs or...
Maybe twiddling something.
Exactly.
Mark saying that the Perry Love Bomb is my new favourite feature on the radio. Louise says, I forgive you last week's punch thing. You've redeemed yourself tonight with that scope. So funny. And I'm trying to... and loads of you... for some reason, Steve has sent me some teletext pictures he's done. For some reason, they're not coming up on my computer. I don't know why, Steve, so I can't see them. So I may not get to see them.
I've got 'em.
Dennis is in Dunstable. Evening, Dennis.
Good evening. Good morning, isn't it, by now?
No, it's not.
I contacted you because you were talking about a number of murders. Well, in my day, of course...
Turn your radio off!
Oh, sorry.
Otherwise there's going to be another murder!
It's gone. But no, in the paper this last few days, there's a young couple there, 14, 15.
Well, no, hang on. Hang on a minute. We can't talk about that, Dennis, because that's going... No, Dennis. We can't talk about it because that's going through the court. So legally, we can't talk about it.
Okay, that's all right. Doesn't matter. I'm in the bad old days.
Okay. Well, I know. I yeah, you see, this is... I'm going to leave it there, Dennis, because I don't want you to get in trouble for... You see, that was your idea.
Well, I'm all heart.
That was your idea. 0844 499 1000. Call straight to air for the last 20 minutes. This is Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I haven't had a shower today because I had no hot water. It was cold water. And so I absolutely stink.
I can't smell anything. No, maybe I'm downwind.
No, I do something. And also, my mouth tastes horrible. That's done the last couple of days. I might have the lurgy or something. Call straight to air if you want to call. If you don't have to, if you don't want to. 0844 499 1000. Last 20 minutes of the show. Listening to Adele could kill you.
What?
Yeah. Her music can end in crashes. Listening to songs by pop sensation. Pop sensation? That's what she is.
Yeah. She's a phenomenon.
Adele is so distracting when driving a car, it could lead to your death. The Hello Singer came top of a list of music most likely to be played when motorists have an accident.
Well, isn't this just music most likely to be played?
See, I would have thought that, like, you get these compilations, like the Ultimate Dad songs or Hard Driving with the G missed off.
Yeah.
I would have, real get your motor running.
Power hits.
Yeah, well, but not...
Full Throttle, it'd be called.
Yeah.
Power ballads.
Not ballads, like rock songs, right? And I would have thought, because they make me quite aggressive, get quite angry listening to those. And so that would be more inclined to make me crash, I think.
Go on, let's
and kill myself.
Let's plumb the depths of the science.
The Hello Singer came top of a list of music most likely to be played when motorists have an accident. Some 18% of Brits... By the way, it's going to name a company that's done this survey. I will not be reading that company's name out. Some 18% of Brits said they had her tunes playing on the car stereo in a near miss or collision, followed by who's number 2? So she's 18%. Who's 17%?
Someone else who's popular. Taylor Swift.
Justin Bieber.
Oh, Bieber.
The research found Aussie singer Sia.
Sia?
No? Where?
No, that's what she's called.
Huh?
That's what she's called.
What's her name?
Sia.
Where?
In the paper.
I would pronounce that Shah, like Eddie Shah. You remember Eddie Shah?
Yeah.
Miss that guy.
My dad used to use that as slang for having a shower.
Oh.
I'm going for an Eddie.
Who is she? She would name one of her songs.
I wanna swing from the chandelier.
Oh, God.
From
next.
the
That's enough.
chandelier.
That's enough. Was next at 15%, followed by death metal rockers Slipknot. I got a member of Slipknot to sign my arse once.
Did you?
That's a true story.
Did you get it tattooed on?
It was the last ever episode of Thumb Bandits, this terrible show, and we had to go and interview Slipknot because they played PlayStation on their tour bus, right? They're famous for it. So we went on the tour bus of Slipknot, had the masks on and everything, right? And I was talking to this guy, it was the last one. I think I may have been drunk. And at the end of it, and it was the last shot of the entire series, I went, by the way, thanks a lot for that. Before we go, would you mind signing my arse? And he did. And fair play. He signed it.
Right, I've always wondered about the mechanics of that. Did you have to go over his knee?
No, I just bent over.
All right.
Hello, Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the air.
Is that Ian?
Yeah.
Hello, Ian. Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip. What kind of cake?
Lemon plant.
Lemon plant?
Lemon polenta cake.
Una polenta cake. Lemon polenta
Una
cake. Una calava pava. That is my favourite thing.
Ian, it's Ben.
Ben who?
Ben.
Hey, Ben. Do I know you?
Hello, Ben. Yes, you do know me. It's been a while.
Not Ben Piper. It can't be, 'cause you
No,
don't sound like Ben
no.
Piper.
I sound nothing like Ben Piper.
Oh, you're not... hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. You're not... hang on a minute. Let me just put you on hold. Who's the guy, the radio presenter that I filled in for on BBC London?
Oh.
What's his name? Elms. Hang on a minute. It's not Ben Elms, is it?
Marble Avenue.
Is it Ben Elms?
No.
Who are you then?
Okay, so I'm going to say Boomhauer X.
Yeah?
Saxophone?
Oh, flipping heck. Sweet Lord. I thought your name was... Oh, I know exactly who you are. Ben and Richard.
That's it.
Oh, God, blimey. We recorded some songs next to a dominatrix's setup, didn't we? Hang on a minute, Ben. Ben, right. I haven't spoken to you for, 5 years? How the hell am I supposed to know it's you by you phoning up going, it's Ben? And also, when and then you mentioned the name of the band, when before you joined that band, there was another member of it called Ben.
Sorry to complicate things with my name. Sorry,
my head has just melted. How you doing, man? You all right?
I'm very well.
You're drunk?
I'm very well.
You're drunk?
Well, it's 1:45, Ian.
You
on a Friday night.
Last time we met, you were drunk, and it was 1:45 in the afternoon. How are you doing? Ben is a brilliant, sexy saxophonist, and all-round good guy. What are you up to at the moment, man?
Well, this and that, here and there.
Okay.
Wishy-washy.
Do you need me to come and bail you out of a police cell?
Dodgy-bodsky.
Yeah, exactly. Do you need me to come and bail you out of a police cell? Is this what this call is? Am I your one call?
No. Funnily enough, I'm taking my first ever Uber ever.
Oh, controversial. The black cab drivers are going to hate you.
Yeah, I know. Bring it on. I'm trying this out. I'm in a black Prius.
Yeah, they all are. Be polite. Be polite, because my Uber rating, I asked for my Uber rating today, and it was 4.8.
Well, I think mine's about 2. I don't know.
Well, they're not so keen on having drunk young men in there.
Don't soil his cab.
Yeah, try to keep all of your extremities in your trousers, and don't let any fluids out of any orifice, Ben. That's my only advice.
Ian, I just wanted to say, I was just phoning. I've been listening for the last week or so.
Oh, thank you, man.
I've been catching up with the podcasts, all of these things, and I just wanted to take this moment about 10 minutes before you finish on a Friday night to just send you my love.
It's touching.
I've really been enjoying listening.
Why does
to
this
you.
sound like a threat?
No,
I've really been enjoying this.
I'm really enjoying you.
Oh, nice one, man. How do you see much of Richard?
Well, that's a whole nother story, my friend.
Oh, have you fallen out?
Fallen out would be one word for it, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, well, listen, I'm not going to ask you on air what the situation was, but I'm sorry to hear that.
Look, you know, friendship,
Yeah.
it's up and down, it's transient, things happen.
You're very wise when you're pissed.
But
Aren't we all?
you should try me when I'm sober.
Yeah.
I'm far less wise, actually. Anyway, I just wanted to send you my love, and I've been really enjoying listening to you. It's been a wonderful experience.
Hang on a minute. This is you. Hang on. Let me get to the end of this song. Hang on. Here we go. Hang on. This is Ben and Richard. In happier times. Me on bass, of course. This is you. Here we go. Dum 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 dum. Isn't that ridiculous? What a fun day that was.
I cannot believe you've dug that up. That is unbelievable.
I found that as you were talking. Listen, man, I'm going to let you go because I've got a couple more callers. It's so nice to hear from you. I hope you're well and all of your family are good. And send me an email or something, man.
Ian, if it's cool, I'm going to phone you another time when I'm sober. How's about that?
Please do. You also you can phone me off air as well. You know, although you won't have my new number. Send me an email and I'll send you my number.
Peace and love to my friend.
I'm gonna, as Ringo Starr said, I'm gonna end this because he never bloody will. Take care. That was nice. Line 2, you're on the wireless. You're on the wireless, line 2.
Hip, hippity dip. How you doing, Ian?
Yeah, good. Thank you, boss. I enjoyed that. It was a nice little blast from the past.
Good. I'm just ringing in. I've just had the best night of my life.
What happened?
Do you want me to leave the room?
No.
No, I just took my son to see live comedy for the first time.
How old?
He loved it.
How old's your son?
14 years old.
Oh, beautiful. Where did you take him?
To a beer festival at the rugby club.
Yeah.
Which we've spoken about before. I'm ringing on a different number. That's not a deliberate conceit. It's just what happened.
Yeah.
But him and I went, and he sat through a number of acts. Ended up with Arthur Smith. He's not learned any new language. He goes to school, so he's heard all those words before.
Yeah.
But Fred Ferenzi, Arthur Smith, some real amazing acts. Just out of the box, and he absolutely loved it.
Fantastic.
Absolutely loved it. His head hurts. He laughed so much. Something he didn't get. Sometimes he stood there puzzled, sat there looking at them, going, "What are they on about?" But you know what? Oh, what a night! What an experience!
That's beautiful. What a lovely thing to share with your boy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get this stuff. I think you shared experiences and education. At his age, my dad was piling Derek and Clive and all that on me.
Oh, I've said when I was 11, my parents took me to go and see the Young Ones live in concert, and it started off with Rick Mail coming out with I'm assuming it was a fake penis and doing a ventriloquist act with it. So, you know, but my mum and dad looked at each other and went, well, they've seen it now, we might as well stay. And that's what it's all about. That's what being a parent's all about, and being it's wonderful. Well done.
It is. I've come back buzzing because it's been such a good night, and comedy, and I listen to you, and I love your comedy, and I love what you do and stuff. I know you're not a comedian. You mentioned earlier in the week you're not a comedian, despite the billing.
It's an easy shorthand for some people, but I haven't called myself a comedian for about 10 years now. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But some people bill use it, and you go, yeah, all right, whatever. If that's what you want to.
Yeah, no, you're better than that. You're more than that. I'd say. But there you go. Don't smoke up your ass.
I'm gonna move on. But I appreciate that, and I'm glad you had a good night with your boys. I told you I've been taking my boys to concerts. First one was, it was a year ago, 11 months ago. The youngest to see the Monkees, and he loved it. Fell asleep during the second half, but. And at the end I was carrying it, but he was mortified when there was a point, and we're in the front row, and there's a point where Mickey Dolenz is singing a song called Going Down, and he offered the mic to me, to sing a verse of the song. I was like, yes, straight up, singing it, and I finished. I got a round of applause from the Hammersmith Odeon. I turned round, and my eldest son, who was 4 at the time, just about to turn 5, was sat there with his hands over his face and his elbows pulled into his stomach. And afterwards I said to him, did you enjoy it when Daddy sang? He went, no. I said, how did it make you feel? He said, I don't know. I said, try and describe it. He said, I felt all uncomfortable in my stomach. I said, yeah, son, that's embarrassment. Get used to that, because that's what I'm here for.
It's your job, man.
But I took him to that, and then I took him to see Brian Wilson in the summer, and then I took both of them to see the Bare Naked Ladies, and they loved it. They found the Bare Naked. They find the concerts a bit long, because good concerts about 2 hours.
And it's
days.
late.
Yeah, so they're very tired, and they find it long. And again, he fell asleep during Brian Wilson, and I was up at the end holding him, dancing along to Good Vibrations, and he's fast asleep. They both stayed awake for the Bare Naked Ladies, but they found it really long, and it did finish about 11. So for a 4 and a 6-year-old, it's a late old night, but I love it. What joy, taking and sharing that moment with my sons, and we go and buy drinks, and we go and buy crisps, and
you dress up smart, don't you?
Yeah, we dress up smart, but if you do dress up smart, we make an effort, and I buy them programs and T-shirts that are way too big for them. They've got all these T-shirts that are like dresses on them, but it's all.
One day they'll fit.
It's all exactly, and hopefully they'll wear those T-shirts and. They'll for a second they'll remember that moment. It's all special stuff. Of course, the first concert was the Monkees, and we had backstage passes, and we got to go and meet them. And now every concert, my host goes, "Are we going to meet them afterwards?" Well, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. I'm afraid it's not always like that. That's the end of the flipping show. We're done. Hasn't it been a strange show tonight? We've done everything differently, an unusual guest. I know it was a bit niche, so thanks everyone that sat through. I hope you got something out of it. Having Ed in, having the Periscope, having people from Ben from my past call up was absolutely lovely to hear you, mate. Really lovely to hear you. Send me an email, ian@ianlee.com. But it's been a strange old show tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But good one. It's been good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to try something different now and again, isn't it? For everyone.
This is the thing I want to try and do. I want every show to be different, and I think we get that. It's been an all right week. Don't forget you can get the podcasts. Look at this. You've got 10 seconds, Dom.
But before that, Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
He's gone. What a way to end the show.
Talk Radio.
Join the Talk Nation.
Pick up your phone and talk radio.
We'll get you talking.